We're going to press on for our children, press on for our seniors, press on for our veterans, press on for our unions, press on for our farmers, press on for our dreamers, press on for working class Americans, press on for the middle class, press on for all who aspire to be part of the middle class, press on for the poor, press on for the sick, press on for the afflicted, press on for the least, press on for the lost, press on for the rule of law, press on for the American way of life, press on for democracy.
God damn. All right. It was a good speech. Hi, Felice. Dave, how are y'all?
I'm good. Not so much, but that's what Hakeem Jeffries has total recall. Like, he probably could do that without without reading anything. Like, he's a great speaker, right? I remember this. He was on my live stream once.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's when he's a great speaker. I saw him speak in person, and it's good. He's good.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, I got to have a conversation with him last time I was in DC. He's one hell of an orator.
Exactly, orator.
8 hours.
Don't forget,
Mr. Speaker, I think it's fair to say the leader has done his part. I have no further speakers. I yield back our time.
Why are they yielding? Why don't they just keep going?
That's all you got?
I couldn't hear. What'd you say, David? I couldn't hear you.
I said, why are they yielding? Why can't they just keep going and just keep on?
So
speaker after speaker after speaker.
There's only an hour of debate for this. But as leader of the minority party, Hakeem Jeffries had something that's called a magic minute, which just allows him the ability to speak for as long as he can. And so, this hour-long debate was supposed to be done at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah. And now we get to listen to, well, we're not going to listen.
Listening to a lot of...
I do want to hear some of what the Republicans...
A lot of comments.
Yeah.
A lot of inaccurate statements. And where I come from...
Guys.
Could we have order?
Wow, that voice.
Gentlemen,
I bet he makes Twitter posts calling himself an alpha man.
The House will be in order.
Can we have order, please?
The House will be in order, please.
That's right. The House is not in order.
If anyone doesn't know who he is, that's Representative Jason Smith. He's the chair of the Ways and Means Committee.
I come from the Show Me State. And what we just heard can be defined in one word. A bunch of hogwash is what we've heard for 8 hours on that side of the building.
It can be described in one word.
8 hours,
a bunch of hogwash. That's 4 words, you moron.
I think it's 5. I think hogwash
the
is
House will be in order.
2.
Is hogwash 1 word or 2?
Hogwash.
Yeah, but I think, like...
I don't know.
It could be a compound word, David.
Yeah, maybe the slang use of it is 1 word.
He's recognized.
Mr. Speaker, the 8 hours of hogwash that we just heard will not change the outcome that you will see very shortly when we deliver historic tax relief for working families, small business owners, and farmers.
So he didn't read the bill.
So he doesn't know what's in the bill.
He has no idea what's in the bill. Complete opposite of what's in the bill.
God damn it.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 1 minute to our great Speaker of the House, Mr. Mike Johnson.
Oh, God. Nope. Here we go. Because now he's going to get his fucking magic minute.
Please, Lord, if you can hear me, let his son's phone come through in the
Thank you,
middle
gentleman
of
from Missouri. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now that binder's taller than him.
You know, Ronald Reagan said one time that no speech should be longer than 20 minutes, and unlike the Democrat leader, I'm going to honor my colleague's time and be a little more brief than that, all right?
What a prick.
I just want to say something that many of us learned when we were children. We were taught, you know, it takes a lot longer to build a lie than to tell the simple truth.
Yeah. Y'all have been building this lie for years, my guy.
They are all sellouts.
Every single one of them.
Sellouts.
Did we go to a country club? This looks like a suburban country club.
And they're not even MAGA, or they're not even Republican conservatives anymore.
No.
MAGA are
My
the
friends and
rhinos.
colleagues on
Yeah.
both sides of the aisle, we've waited long enough. Some of us have literally been up for days now. But this day,
Oh, boo-hoo.
is a hugely important one in the history of our nation. We have a
If
big
you
job to
have
finish,
7
and
or
that's why
8
we're here on the
zeros
week
in
of
your
July
bank account,
4th.
this is a
Just
really
days
important vote
before-
for you.
Just a day before now, America's birthday. It was on that fateful day, as a Democrat leader acknowledged, that our founders pledged their lives and their sacred honor to this grand experiment in self-governance that we are
And
now
you're
here to
doing
do.
everything possible
It's
to
an experiment
destroy it.
that falls to us to
How
guard
many
and to protect
alerts
it.
do you think his
We
son
take that
gets
very
about
seriously
his
on this side of the
online browser
That's what
history?
In
that's what
just
I'm
a few
saying.
moments,
I hope during
we will
his
remind the
speech he
world
gets a
why
notification chime on his
the
phone
American
that his son
experiment
is
still
sending him an
endures
alert.
today, and why its best days
Oh
are
my
still
God. You
ahead
know
of
what we
us.
need? I need somebody to pump in the like grinder notification on the loudspeaker in there and to see how many of them freak out.
Well, apparently the brilliant
Mr. Speaker, with one big,
woman,
beautiful bill, we are going to
Nani
make this country
Reno,
stronger, safer, and
she
more
makes really funny videos with like alien named Joopy, but she also makes serious videos too. I can't remember where she's located, but yeah, Nani Reno. Apparently, she has detailed inside information from Grindr about account holders that her own lawyer is warning her that she could be sued over, and she shouldn't publicly put it out there. So she's trying to figure out a way to slyly word it so that she can release the info that she has.
You know what? Somebody just needs to jump on the sword.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean,
Somebody just needs to jump on the sword.
I have
Not
have
her.
said-
I don't think she needs to. Grinder
not
needs
her.
to do it.
Definitely,
Metaphorically
definitely not
or
Yes.
literally?
Sure.
I mean, there's a lot to be said that because we have a felon as a sitting president of the United States of America who has yet to see any actual sentencing
Consequences.
for
Yeah.
both his civil and his criminal charges, that nullifies the rule of law if you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does, because why, if one man is above the rule of law, why does anyone need to follow the rule of law?
Yep.
You know,
Exactly.
I'm not saying people should go out there and like try to do
But it
crime.
completely undermines the idea of everybody
argument
being
is
equal
sound.
under the law.
Yeah.
Right? It just undermines that entire philosophy
Yep.
of equality under the law.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
Yeah. Go for it.
I was going to say let's see what Mike Johnson says here in a second. Hold on.
And what I'm going to say is that this big, beautiful bill is going to be big and beautiful because it's a bill, and I like bills. Not just Bills, but Williams. I like Ted's.
What?
I like Steve's.
What?
There's so many Williams in the bill, and the bill is big and beautiful. And the bill makes me think that maybe Bill wasn't the bad guy. Maybe it was William that was the bad guy. I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling right now because my 2 brain cells are fighting for third place. And I'm about to get a bloody nose because the air's a little dry in here. Speaking of air, the big beautiful bill is full of a lot of hot of it. And it's gonna be dangerous if you're poor, but we don't care about you because the rich are really where it's at. And it's all about the rich people like myself. I made a lot of money on the backs of you fucking idiots. And I'm going to keep doing that because I have no morals, integrity, or honor. I sold my spine to the devil, who just happens to be a orange man in the White House. And my gonads sit on his vice president's desk. Thank you. Yes. Please applaud for that. Thank you. That's good applause. Good applause. Yeah.
That election.
I honestly, because I had my phone turned away from me, all I heard was that, and then I looked at the screen. I thought you just put because your mustache and your beard, I couldn't see your lips moving. I honestly thought that was Mike Johnson.
And so, as I sit here and wave my hand around because I have to look important for the people as I stand here behind this microphone that looks pretty familiar.
Hey, I want to point out that microphone stand is like 3.5 feet, or to the podium is like 3.5 feet tall. That's literally. Like, I think Putin is taller than Mike Johnson.
Oh, Mike Johnson is 5'6", 5'7". I've seen him in person, and Hakeem Jeffries is 6'1". I stood next to. I'm 5'9" ¾ flat-footed, so like he's definitely at least a couple inches taller than me.
But on Grindr, he's 6 foot.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Felice. By the way, I haven't talked to you ever, I think. And I love all of your content. You do amazing work.
We have talked like years ago, I think.
Yeah. I think we were actually on a live together.
Like a long time ago.
Like 4 years ago.
I don't know if it was but yeah, like 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, like
well,
I remember
I see all of your content, both accounts, because I really I'm sorry, but I hate following like backup accounts. Because there's so many imposter accounts out there anymore. You don't even know if you're following a legitimate.
I'm gonna say you're probably following someone in the Middle East. There was an account that had like over 100,000 followers. That was me. That was just taking my content and scraping it.
It's
It
crazy.
was like some guy in the Middle East who was getting money from people pretending to be me, and like TikTok legal contacted me, and I had to like show them my passport and like verify that that's not me.
It's a really, and you know, I'm an official candidate from North Carolina's District 5 now, and I'm accepting campaign donations, and it's a valid concern.
You're running for Congress? I didn't know
yes,
that.
Yes, ma'am. I'm an official candidate, and
With District 5 where? In Florida?
North Carolina.
Or North Carolina. That's good. That's
this
awesome.
guy looks like he eats a hot dog for the shape.
Isn't that the guy at the infamous softball game, Republican softball game?
I think so. I don't know.
I think that's why they put him there. In that
Steve Scalise is the man who got pew-pewed. Steve Scalise got pew-pewed at the softball game.
Israel is agreeing to a 60-day ceasefire with Hamas. Successful strike on Iranian nuclear sites handles that problem. That's exactly right.
Okay, so you're just an idiot.
I guess they didn't see the caravan of trucks relocating all their uranium in their official report. That strike cost billions upon billions of dollars and accomplished absolutely nothing.
Yeah. No. I mean, it spent a lot of money.
Yep.
Spent a lot of money. All right, hold on. Let me turn his
We hit caves in Afghanistan that accomplished more than what was accomplished in Iran.
Wait, who was that? Let's make sure we say Jumper 3287 said, I love how Democrats consistently rude. You have to get a verb in there. You should meant are against the U.S. You're on the wrong side of history. Said someone who can't read or do math. And that's how I know, Jumper, you can't read or do math. Thank you for confirming to me that you can't read.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of Democrat progressive principles, but I'm an independent. And what is good about starting a new war, Jumper?
He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Because weren't you the same people for the past 4 years that were talking about the 20 plus, war in Afghanistan and Iraq and the outrage about the fake WMDs, which I share with you, by the way. There were no WMDs, and it was a pointless war.
It was. It was.
So what's
just on top of me all of a sudden? Hi.
Hi. I got it really excited too. Got to continue.
Looked up and I was like,
Wow.
So,
as long as we're doing something, can I be in the big box for 2 seconds? I just want to show everyone my latest edition, my latest accessory.
Yeah, there's nothing important happening on the floor right now anyway.
Taco glasses.
Love it.
You guys think for debates and other appropriate times.
Love it.
I mean, if you really want to get weird.
Is it a taco hat?
It is.
It is a taco hat.
Brilliant.
When I win my congressional race.
Okay, I'm done now. I get anxiety in this. Take me out of this giant box.
No, leave it up. Leave it up.
Oh, being small.
See that? Large. That's all right. Hey, Felice, for when I win my congressional race in 2026.
You want me to stump for you?
Can you please stump for me, but also send me a pair of those glasses for the very next State of the Union? Because
if you're really lucky, I'm going to save up and get you some Trump cologne.
It's only $250.
It's whatever.
Chris,
everyone on this live's getting Trump cologne. Hey, Chris, you too. Trump cologne for everyone.
Where are all the videos on Trump cologne splicing in Anchorman with that scene?
For Sex Panther.
Yeah.
60% of the time, it works every time.
I give it 8 months until bankruptcy. I think his Trump phones and his Trump fragrance is going to go bankrupt at the same time. I'm calling it now.
Everyone in my family who voted for Trump is getting Trump cologne. And you know what the worst part is, Matt? When on Tuesday, when we were talking about the Trump cologne, which I hadn't done enough research on it, there's a pink tax on it.
Oh my God.
Are you serious?
Yes, the cologne for men is $199. The perfume for women is $256.
That's crazy.
If no one knows what a pink tax is, that's when you overcharge for women's products. That's why I always say, if you're a woman, buy the men's Gillette Fusion razor. He put a pink tax on the damn perfume.
They even do it if you sign up for the Hers or the Fella or the Hims. They do it for those as well. Hers, it's almost $100 more to get weight loss medicine.
I need a pen
and stuff like that.
It's $249 for both of them.
I'm going to add that.
You're looking. It's $199 right there.
No.
Trump for men.
No. But this is a different. This is a different one because there's also the perfume Trump for women one right here. Perfume Trump. This is the Victor.
He always had cologne, and we didn't know.
I guess
what?
these are the Victory 47 ones that are $250
in the plastic.
That's in the plastic
Emmy that he could never win.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Real quick, my if it's okay, because I've been keeping up with. By the way, Hakeem Jeffries over here doing the good work. My friend Lex is about to run for Congress next door to you, apparently. He's in the comments. Apparently, he wants to have a chat whenever you got time.
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Did he send me a message? Send me a message.
Oh, no. He was talking about if you got space on the panel.
Right now? Oh.
Yeah. Only if they're not discussing anything important, which they aren't. But yeah.
I mean, it's Mike Johnson.
Yeah, Mike Johnson. he got bullied in school. That's all I'm gonna say about him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at him. Of course he did. And I don't condone that, but it's apparent.
I condone bullying Nazis.
I definitely don't condone.
No.
Listen, everyone's bullied. Even bullies are bullied. Like, who was not bullied? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just because it's not, you know what I'm saying? Mike Johnson is a simp, right? Like, whenever it matters, Mike Johnson folds like a lawn chair. Like, I was bullied. That doesn't mean that I would bend over for Donald Trump and ensure a bunch of the middle class, like the largest transfer of wealth happens. Like, we were all bullied. It's not an excuse for what he's doing now.
I agree.
Bullied by world leaders every day.
But what I'm saying is, what I was saying specifically is, I don't condone bullying in school when you're a kid growing up. But I'll bully Mike Johnson all day long.
Oh yeah, me too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I have absolutely no remorse or care about or empathy for Mike Johnson or any other Nazi. I just don't. So,
well, empathy is not sympathy. A lot of people confuse empathy with sympathy, and
I don't have either for Mike Johnson.
Yeah, no, nor do I.
I have neither for him.
I am going to write down to add a proposed legislation to my website, thanks to Felice, though, because a pink tax should be argued as unconstitutional.
Now, Matt, you know it's a shame.
I'll tell you, because I used to work in advertising and marketing. I'll tell you that the excuse for a pink tax that will be made, and the reason it's never been declared unconstitutional or or discriminatory, is because what the argument will be in advertising and marketing is that more of advertising and marketing budgets are geared towards women because they often spend more that. So it's not, but
that argument's null and void because that advertising and marketing goes towards the company, not the tax.
Hey, David. No, you're wrong. You're talking about advertising. I'm talking about advertising buckets and the amount of money. Advertising buckets are usually divided up between males and females, different ages, different tendencies, and they do tend to lean heavy towards women. And when you market more towards women, then the overall price of the product is raised. It's not what you're thinking. It has to do with how you target digital advertising.
Okay, I understand.
Okay, so Matt, I'm in District 1.
I didn't know that.
Right? Yeah, I'm right across. I'm one county away from North Carolina. I'm about 45 minutes from Asheville.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be, I've already assembled my team. I'm going to be submitting all my paperwork and everything. I'm running for District 1 Congress.
Let's go, Lex. Fuck yes.
Lex, awesome. you said Asheville, North Carolina?
Yeah, I'm about 45 minutes. I'm right across the border. I'm in a area between Jefferson and Sevier County in eastern Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm going against Diane Harshbarger and her very ill-informed self.
Let's go.
Awful.
Well, here's the thing, though. The thing about Diane Harshbarger is she doesn't understand the people of East Tennessee, and I do, because I am a grandson of a moonshine running hillbilly.
Let's go.
I've been here, and I lived all over the country, and I have seen a lot of things all over the country, but my home is here in the Appalachian Mountains, right across from, just like Matt. And another thing is, Felice, if you don't know me, I'm Dr. Lex Lucchese. I'm the founder of a school, the Historic Black University.
Nice.
Yeah, Dr. Lex is the shit.
So, I like pulling out my granddad's cowboy hats to show that, my family was released out of slavery in Greene County, Tennessee from the Bewley Farm. At the same time, Andrew Johnson was there, the guy that got rid of 40 acres and a mule and did all the damage to the indigenous people. Diane Harshbarger knows none of this. She got rich off of Big Pharma and poisoning the people in our community.
Let's go. Lex, you know, you got nothing but support from me, but whatever I can do to help.
Is she from Tennessee?
You know something? I suspect that she might be from the area between the taint, Satan.
She's an American pharmacist, businesswoman, and politician, blah, blah, blah. She's been in that district since 2021. She's born in 1960. She's 65. She went to Mercer University College of Pharmacy.
Time out real quick. We've got really important stuff happening by the Republicans here. They're chanting USA. So that was very important.
Sincerely.
That was very important that we.
Okay, so what did they pass? They pass that bill?
Not yet. It's going to be going up for a vote here shortly, as soon as Mike Johnson.
I'm actually surprised he's still speaking because they want to rush it through. They want the phone calls to stop.
Well, the goal was to do this in the middle of the night so that nobody was watching.
Do they have the votes?
That's the question. That's
won over those 5 that have turned.
They have the votes, 100%. They have the votes now. Once the rule passed, so what they were really waiting on, there were 12 holdouts, and all that is because they're always going to side with Trump, right? Those were the people who were just wanting to be bribed, right? So that's what they were doing yesterday. They were talking to the 12 people and bribing them. And then there were 2 votes that needed to happen. The first is to pass the rule so the bill can move to the floor. Once the rule is passed, that means they've bribed everyone. Well, in theory, you don't go to the floor without the votes. In the words of Nancy Pelosi, the bribes have happened, and this is now just the ceremonial, final vote.
So this is just them getting on their hands and knees and putting Cheeto deep in their throats and choking on it, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Cool. Awesome. There's one thing about this effing bill that I don't hear a lot of people talking about, and that's why I came up.
Is it the $80 billion for ICE?
No. I mean that's horrendous too. But it's going to punish and exclude mixed status families from Medicaid, SNAP, all of those public programs. But it's also going to raise our tax burden because we're no longer going to be eligible for any credits. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's going to punish legal fucking migrants too as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I put up a video where that was in there, where it was because they're removing the under the ACA. There are God, I'm so tired. There are tax incentives for when you get your if you make under a certain amount of money to help you offset the cost of that health care through the marketplace. But that's going away.
Yeah.
So it's going.
Victoria's here, and is Victoria here? Victoria for Congress.
She is. I don't know if she's actively ignoring us or not, but she's here. She might be actively ignoring us.
Hey, Lex, have you filed your Form 1 and Form 2 yet?
No, I have them. I have. Like I said, I have a team. I have time to get it filled out.
You have a team working on it, though.
Oh yeah, I've definitely got a team.
Because I've got an amazing political consultant that got it all done lickety split. I'd be happy to send you his information.
Okay, so hold on a second. Let me follow you. Yeah, I have some very intense hill raising women that are going to help me. Vandy grads and just a lot of really, really intensely intelligent women that are going to help me.
Okay.
But I will get with you because if we're operating off of expedience,
we'll share information. Absolutely. The official launch is of my website, which is now completed, but is still a work in progress. Is up in the official launch is tomorrow, July 4th, an independent for Independence Day for all. But all the internet sleuths.
There he goes. He's done talking now.
In my bio link, if they want to get an early sneak peek. But tomorrow is the official launch, and everything is filed with the FEC, the financial disclosure, all that stuff that they require that you send back to them after you file your Form 1 and Form 2. So I'm an official candidate, and thanks to TikTok Shop, I now have a microphone from my car stereo that I can use to drive around all the districts and say, Clayton for North Carolina.
Oh, yeah. What part of North Carolina are you in?
District 5. District
okay, so
5.
what cities are in District 5?
I'm just south of Boone.
Oh, okay.
No, just
okay,
south
so
of Boone.
You're just right. You're on the other side of
I'm your East Coast neighbor. That's inland, and the coast is a little far away from me. But yeah. I'm next to you.
I hope that I grow a spine.
Here we go.
Well, the school that I founded is in Salisbury, North Carolina. The School of Music that I founded at Livingstone College in Salisbury.
Awesome. Yeah. We'll definitely connect.
Who's the one nay vote? Is that Thomas Massey?
Probably.
Oh my God, this is awful.
This is.
I'm gonna hop down because I'm gonna take my boys and my little girl swimming. But yeah, just remember, please, everybody, fucking remember that when they had the power, they could have passed comprehensive immigration reform. They could have really done some good, and instead, they chose alligator Alcatraz and stripping health care and food from everyone.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Every single
Love you, my
Republican
friend.
voting on this is not voting for the American public. They are voting for rich 1% oligarchy elites that are going to contribute unlimited amounts of money to themselves. Every single Republican voting yes on this bill is voting to increase their own generational wealth. That is it.
Yep.
How many no votes do we need?
Yes.
We need 4. We need 4 nay votes for it to not pass.
What happened to the centrist
There's
Republicans?
2. We got 2.
They don't give a fuck. Nope.
Whoa,
we got 1. They changed it.
2 went. What? Oh.
You can change your vote. You can change your vote. As long as the vote is open, you can change your vote.
They're messing with our emotions.
So this is what happened last night with the rules vote. There were 5 nay votes and 8 people that hadn't voted. And as long as the vote is left open, they can change their votes. So here's what's going to happen. If by some fucking miracle they don't have the votes, Mike Johnson just won't close the vote out. And they'll start going after the no votes and whipping them into shape. So
it's like they bully them into voting?
That's exactly what they did last night. Just straight up bullied them into voting.
It's the carrot or the stick. Either you take a bribe, they promise you something, or they threaten you. It's just one or the other.
Yeah, it was Thomas Massey was the one no vote right now.
Yeah, I've got too much zero fucks in me to have somebody bully me into something.
Thomas Massey voted no on it the first
Victoria.
time also. So I'm not surprised that he voted no again.
Hey, Victoria, I'm going after Diane Harshbarger in District 1.
Oh my God, yes! I'm so excited. Someone was wanting to confirm that. That's amazing. I love this so much. Let me know how I can help you.
Okay, sounds good.
Victoria, what district are you running in?
District 4. My opponent's Scott Desjardins.
Scott Dummylay.
He's a whole personality.
A whole personality.
Scott.
Sorry?
My thing is,
How old is Scott?
You know something, Victoria?
60.
He was
60?
He was doing. Scott Desjardins was doing a whole bunch of stuff over here in Newport, Tennessee, for some reason a couple of years ago, and I don't know what it is, why he was over here.
Yeah, that's.
Well, Victoria, my name's David Clayton. I'm challenging Virginia Fox in North Carolina's district.
Oh my God!
81-year-old Virginia Fox, who locked the frontage road gate on her own voting base for fleeing for their lives from Hurricane Helene because it came within eyesight of her property.
The one that has a terrible photographic history.
She's terrible all around.
I was gonna terrible in every sense of the word.
Well, she was one of the people pictured in protesting against desegregation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Who's that? That black female reporter, Nicole Scott.
I'm not sure.
I follow her on here, and I can't even remember her name right now. But Virginia Fox is the one who told her when she was asking just a normal question. This is during the Biden presidency. Told her to shut up and sit down. And I was like,
yeah.
Oh.
That's like Diane Harshbarger called Al Green a boy.
Yeah.
Rachel Scott. Thank you for whoever's saying Rachel. Rachel Scott.
I have two things. I didn't know you were running against Virginia Fox. Virginia Fox is the chair of the Rules Committee. So she is she's the gatekeeper before bills move to the floor. So I'm very passionate about Capitol Hill. And I call her the ghost of Margarine Taylor Greene's future. In like 5 to 10 years, Margarine's going to look just like Virginia Fox, like a melting candle who's unbelievably bigoted. And the second thing is, I wanted to say I was for Lex. I was looking, because, I used to be a researcher by trade, so I was looking into Diana Harshbarger. She owns not just a pharmacy, but a compounding pharmacy, meaning it's a pharmacy where rich people can go to have medications that mixed for them. And there's a whole section on her compounding pharmacy about the value of ivermectin and what it can do for people.
I love that.
She's a fucking quack.
Yeah, she's as I said, she has no. What's about to happen in Eastern Tennessee is literally very similar to what's going on in the area that Matt's in. This is the Appalachian Mountains, and these people are poor, a lot of them. And the summer programs and the food banks, the pantries, and everything have gotten cut off. These summer programs is where these kids could go eat once a day whenever they couldn't at home. Or, then it was like literally free daycare because you could send these kids to a gym or somewhere and they had somebody watching over them, fed them lunch, and they just let them play outside like recess all day. And then they go home at, 2 or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock whenever their parents came and got them. That's cut off.
Yep.
They're not getting fed in the summertime. It's causing more expenses on food for parents in the summertime because they're not getting a free lunch. And then when school starts, they're going to cut the free lunch programs.
Yep.
So now kids aren't going to get free lunch in school.
Yep.
Which means if you don't eat breakfast and lunch and you're in school, the way you take on information is skewed.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the MAGA policy playbook is, what would Jesus do? Eat kids? No. Why would
no. Jesus would get detained by ICE if he came back right now.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
A Middle Eastern man in a robe, dark skin.
Absolutely not.
Speaking Aramaic.
By the way, for all of the, I'm glad I've got actually some people that are running for Congress because I've already got some. I actually was going to take a few lives and interview some of you guys. So yeah, we should do that. I'm starting with my Congressman Isaiah Martin because that dude's going to be in Texas 18. That's right.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Love that guy. Yeah. So let's get together and let me interrogate you guys.
Let's do it. Interrogate me.
I'll be in your guys' DM. Yeah.
Chris, I'm actually it's called Emerge. It is a candidate training program. It's 6 months. Okay. And I'm in that right now. So last week when we were in Knoxville, next week we'll be in Memphis. I am learning so much, but I'm the only federal candidate in the class, and I'm one of 2 candidates that has actually run for office previously. Okay. So whole fucking vibe.
So you're literally the only federal candidate that was in the pool of that merge course?
Oh, shit.
25 students, and I'm the only federal candidate in the Tennessee program.
Well, something, the way that I'm going to approach this is that I'm just like these people that are suffering. I came from the same housing project. I lived in a housing project when I was a kid. It was 90% white people. And stuck in the side of a mountain over here in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
I saw a lot of things. Ringworm from these kids. I had a village project. My grandmother, my aunt, God rest their souls, and my mother. I was surrounded by people, and there's 6 of us. I've got 3 sisters and 2 brothers. The thing is I got to see how poor people can be, and how people were, go to school smelling like spoiled milk, and how people would have parents that were alcoholic so bad that they would drink aftershave. I've seen every skin condition on those kids ever: the scabies, the ringworm, the head lice. I witnessed all of that, and these people are still suffering these same things because what you don't see are these people back in these hollers. You drive down the highway, you see a little hole in the mountain. You know what I'm talking about, Matt. You know what I'm talking about, Victoria. It's called a holler. And they go way up inside, go way up into the mountain. There are people up there living in shacks and shanties and trailers. And depending on the federal government for benefits so they can eat. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be cut off.
There's a story there's a road in my county, literally in my county, that everyone knows. It's called Kid Road, and we're not supposed to, you're not supposed to drive down that road because there is a shack, which is 5 or 6 shacks down, they're on one side of the road, and it literally, no one should be living there. And one of the stories that the sheriffs laugh about is one day they were driving down the road and there was a girl walking, and they stopped to help her. She couldn't have been more than 14 years old, and she was holding a brand new baby in her arms, and she said, it just fell out of me. That is my county.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. That's how it is in Tennessee.
Yeah. Somebody asked what NV stands for. That's not voted. So they have not voted yet.
And I can explain, so it goes through alphabetical order in a congressional vote like this, and you don't have to be there when they call your name the first time. At the end of the roll call, when they get through alphabetical order, they're going to recall the names who weren't present. These are, it's some people like to be dramatic or whatever. So they'll recall the holdouts that weren't there during the alphabetical order and give them a chance to vote again.
Yeah.
I'm going to expose every single one of these sellouts for their backroom closed door deals.
Do it.
I mean, Felice, you were talking about in your live. I was listening for a little bit yesterday, and you were talking about the amount of money in politics, and it's unfucking real, but unsurprising how much money is in politics. Mm-hmm. To be a small dollar candidate, it's so hard. And you were talked about AIPAC at one point. So I got shit. Back last May when I signed basically a pro-peace treaty where I would not take AIPAC money. And it pissed a lot of people off because, again, I was the only federal candidate to sign it. I was the only federal candidate to speak out against what was going on in Palestine. And people were like...
In Tennessee, you mean?
In Tennessee, yeah. Only federal candidate. Although I knew other federal candidates that felt the same as me, they just wouldn't say it publicly. And I said it's a mistake. Not to say it. Just we can hold Israel accountable and say what's going on in fucking Palestine is unreal. But nope, people wouldn't do it.
You know something, the last thing you need to be in federal government in the United States of America is a chicken shit.
Mm-hmm. Somebody was asking who the one no vote was. That's Thomas Massey out of Kentucky. He's the one no vote.
Was the AI
that was stripped out? That was taken out in the Senate amendments.
Okay.
You sure?
So it can be regulated,
sure.
but
I don't.
So it can be regulated.
You can't regulate it for 10 years. You're saying that was taken out in the Senate?
I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure the Senate removed that. Hold on.
So if they did,
I have the entire bill once it moved out of the Senate in a program. I can look.
Yeah, if you want to look. I'm pretty sure it was. I might be thinking of something else, but I'm pretty sure it was.
So I just want to remind everyone, if it can be regulated in 10 years and it was removed, that means that there's still no laws on the books for it to be regulated. So I advise everyone who is proficient in AI to go out and make lifelike, realistic AI of every single one of these Republicans.
We need 2 more.
Put in the truth of what they should be saying.
I think the no votes are decider. They're deciding.
So the second no vote was Brian Fitzpatrick. he was so Brian Fitzpatrick was the lone no vote from the Republicans in the rules vote.
It is,
last night.
for a state to not be able to regulate AI for 10 years. Yeah, it's not in the bill.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Welcome.
Because it was in the original House bill, and I thought that the Senate had removed it. I think the parliamentarian removed it.
Oh, they're clapping now.
I think they voted to remove it.
Unless these last two people vote no, then that's it.
What are the chances of that?
Well, it's slim to none.
Congratulations, MAGA. Republicans in Congress lied to you, and your mom and dad and kids are losing health care.
Okay, so the last Democratic vote is in.
Yeah.
That's such a good point, Andy. See how it does list Republican and Democratic? That is, like, I just want to point this out. The adjective is Democratic. So that's why every time in the Rules Committee at 2 a.m, what's the Andy Ogles, who was submitting an amendment for his Pew Pew stores to make more money by removing a tax on silencers. He's like, the Democrat Party, and everyone just screams at him at 2 a.m, Democratic. That's why the adjective is Democratic. The noun is Democrat.
Right.
They're standing around. Sorry to cut you off. Isn't there a woman that's been in a nursing home in Texas that's in Congress?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, whatever happened to her?
She's probably still in that bed.
How does she vote?
I think that they're allowed to have proxy votes because I know in the state they aren't. Okay.
No, that was one of the rules that Mike Johnson shot down in this session of Congress, and it was something that Cindy said she resigned.
Oh, she resigned. Okay, thank you, Cindy, for keeping us all straight.
Have they primaried or ran somebody else?
Probably there's
depends on the rules of the state. They don't, if there's special elections or if someone it depends on what the rules are.
I think Mark governor appointed interim or something.
No, that for the Senate, yes, there can be, but for House, no. I think there has to be special elections for House seats to be filled. I don't think the governor gets to appoint.
We're about to watch this happen in Tennessee.
They can delay. I think what a governor of Texas can do is just delay the special election.
Right.
That's what they'll just push them off. That's why people were mad at Ron DeSantis for trying to delay because they don't want to fill the seats.
This is so depressing.
God. Okay. Well, hey, here's what's so Ralph Norman and John James are the two that are left.
And who are they?
Ralph Norman is a yes. He already got bribed.
Mm-hmm. So is John James.
That's it.
So.
I know Desjardins.
By the way, Ralph Norman specifically always does this. Like, watch after I say this. He always misses his name in alphabetical order. And it's like, just for everyone's mental health, once a bill gets to the floor, they have the votes. Like, it's not like something's going to change the last minute. Like, once they pass the rule,
I don't know. Look at John McCain.
Bribed everyone.
I was gonna say, I mean, crazy things have happened, but no, there we go. There you go. John James just voted yes. It hasn't updated here yet, but so that's it.
People ask me why my flag's at half mast, half staff. It's exactly for this. Our country is a nation in mourning.
That's it. Bill passed.
Welcome to the shit show.
There you go.
When does this bill go into effect? As soon as Donald Trump signs it?
Yep. There are provisions of this bill that don't go into effect until, a couple of years from now. But a lot of it will start hitting people by the end of the year.
But Congress can go back after this term and take this bill down, can't they?
It could be repealed.
But okay, sure, but
repealed. Yeah, they can amend things. They can change things legally.
If you wanted to pass a bill through Congress after the midterms that would get rid of all of this shit, you would need to make sure that the Democrats win super majorities in both bodies, both legislative bodies, because they're going to have to outvote a veto from the Trump White House on whatever comes out that would repeal any of this.
Right.
I'll tell you what, if you're in the chat and you're not registered to vote, you need to take your ass out and register to vote.
Yeah.
Don't come on.
Sorry, go ahead.
Don't come on TikTok and cry about what's going on. If you haven't registered to vote, you haven't voted. You have absolutely no excuse. Now, my grandma,
There's 1,700 of you.
Yeah, exactly. So there's 1,700 people on here. If you're not registered to vote, you take your ass out and register to vote, or don't cry for me, Argentina, because that's where you're going to get shipped off to.
Also, check your voter registration. Depending on what state you live in, it could have been purged. And expect it to be purged going into the 2026 election cycle. So start checking it. Make it a weekly, daily check. The closer we get, the more often you need to check.
Yeah.
And
you know what? They tried to purge me last year, and I went down there and confronted them.
I just want to make sure everybody that the bill hadn't even passed yet, and there's already clinics closing because of the expected Medicaid cuts that are in this bill. There are already people that are in rural areas that are without the access to health care, and this bill isn't even signed into law yet. Okay? I want you all to recognize this isn't hyperbole. This isn't make believe. All right? This isn't a fucking game. People are going to die unnecessarily. Right? Yep. I know Joni Ernst is like, oh, sorry to break it to you, but everybody dies. Yes, there are going to be over 50,000 preventable deaths that are going to happen in the United States because of shit like this.
Yep.
Okay.
And a lot of them are going to be Republicans and MAGA, the people that are supporting this. That's the mind-blowing part.
And past that, it's going to affect people of color. It is going to affect every single person who benefits, specifically children, any children in low-income families. I mean, TennCare is Medicaid. It's going to affect. I think they said it was like 250,000 people are going to be affected.
Here's the crazy thing. Even if you're not on Medicaid, this is going to affect you. Because most of the hospitals in the United States get a majority of their funding through Medicaid reimbursements. Okay. When that money dries up, and it's going to now, that money is going to dry up. There is no way for hospitals to make up that shortfall in funding, and they will close. So if you have a stroke and time is of the essence and you live in bumfuck nowhere, Nebraska, sorry. I hope you have access to a helicopter, because your closest hospital is going to be an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours away from you.
Someone said define low income. If you make less than $400,000 a year, you're low income. You're not rich. If
you're watching this TikTok live right now, we are all in this boat right now. Okay. If you have fewer than 7 zeros in your fucking bank account, okay, you're affected by this. All right. Listen, I'm advanced poor. Okay. Like, this shit is going to affect all of us. All right. Period. It's going to affect all of us. Who's not going to be affected? Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. They ain't gonna feel Peter Thiel. They ain't gonna feel shit from this. They're gonna make money. They're gonna make money on this. All right, that's what's happening here.
Let me simplify it for you. Enjoy that possum soup, you dumbasses.
Yes.
Like this, that Jesus would have flipped the tables about.
They don't give a shit. They don't want it. There's a Republican Jesus and there's actual Jesus. They go by Republican Jesus.
Right. Now Mike Johnson speaking again.
Yeah, fuck him.
Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. 2026, we're going to fucking fix this shit. But we cannot let any one of those motherfuckers, any single one of them, get away with this shit. Do not let them get away with this shit. Email them constantly. Write them constantly. Activism is a muscle. Pick one thing and hammer it the fuck home, because guess what? We're all in this boat together.
And if you see them in public, give them a piece of your mind. Peacefully, but do not let up. Do not let them forget.
Go watch what I fucking did with fucking Janice Bowling in my district. She'll be back on July 16th. And you know what? The whole state house knows what I fucking did to that bitch. And I'm going to be there again, and I'm probably getting arrested. And I don't care, because fuck her.
Oh, you talking about that debate you guys had?
Oh, yeah, no, where she was like, it's a listening session. And it was her talking to us. And she just, like, legitimately could not handle the fact that I was like, nope, nope, nope. And then there was some asshole in the back trying to, like, be like, sweetheart, fuck off, dude. Get out.
This is, growing up in Tennessee, my grandmother, God rest her soul, she said it best during the Great Depression. When I talked to her about the Great Depression, she said, we didn't know it happened. And I was like, really? She said, no, we didn't know it. No, we didn't know it happened. I said, we were up here and we were making our own liquor, and they didn't let black people put money in the banks.
Yeah.
So we had, we had to secure our own food sources and can and hunt and do those things, and we didn't know the Great Depression happened. And so these people that voted for this, they're literally cooking themselves. Mm-hmm. And they're used to having things, and they're going to stop having things that they're used to getting, and this is going to get really interesting over the next few months.
Yes, it is.
It's about to get really hard. Don't run on the stores. Don't do anything rash, but do make plans. Hope for the best, plan for the worst.
Always.
Let me just say something, like, based on statistical math. And the way to understand this mathematically...
Who just got a violation?
I got a violation for harassment and bullying. I'm going to take a laugh.
Of who?
I have no idea.
The woman, you said that, yeah, it was probably that debate stuff. I'm sure that's what it was. I get violations and I'm not speaking, so don't take it personally. Welcome to TikTok. Wait, let me just get through something, though. I just want to say this, because everyone's saying, like, everyone's emotionally charged. The mathematical way to understand this is that 80% of the country is going to pay the bill, not just for...
Yeah.
Sorry. It's a message for
80% of the bill. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, 80% of the country will pay the bill, but it's not just comprehensively. It's not just the big, beautiful bill. You also have to mathematically factor in tariffs. So 80% of the country, the lower half of the country, will pay for this. And depending on where you are in those income percentiles, you'll pay between $1,000 to $2,000 per household. There is 10% right in the middle. That's the high end of middle class that will break even. And then the top 10% is going to get thousands of dollars back, right? I mean, and that's not just factoring in this bill, but factoring in at the cash register that we have to pay taxes so that rich people can get money back. This is the largest transfer of wealth in one bill to the top of the economy in U.S. history. But if you're in the bottom 80%, that's everything. But there's one income neutral, there's one neutral tax bracket, upper middle class, right before you go into the top 10% that will break even. But below that, you're looking at about $1,000 to $2,000 per household, or it depends on the mathematical model you look at, or it could be as high as $2,500 per household.
So basically, MAGA, if you're in a red state and you're already broke because you were crying for the past 4 years that Joe Biden has made everything unaffordable, you're going to be paying more.
Happy 4th of July.
Like,
the 4th of July shit's going to cost more because of tariffs.
I know people, especially on our side of things, have said that there's no point in trying to explain things to MAGA, but we have to try. They live amongst us, and the only thing I can hope is that one day they finally see the light, that we're not your enemy. We've never been your enemy. We may disagree, but we are all American. But Donald Trump and these Republicans in Congress have lied to you. MAGA is a lie.
Yeah.
Marketing pitch to try to divide the nation and get us to fight each other while the rich get richer.
Now,
period.
David, I would normally agree with you. But unfortunately, because our electricity costs are going to go up, there's not going to be very many lights for them to be able to see. So
that's a valid point.
And just remember, guys, for the politicians who were on the panel, David, Lex, myself, we have to get a percentage of their vote in order to win. Yep. So we do have to speak to them, even if we don't want to. So just
offer them lower electricity costs, and then
I mean, specifically in my district, District 5, and I've taken a bunch of heat from this from Dems that I'm running as an independent. A Dem ticket has zero path to victory in my district. I could achieve 100% of the registered Dem turnout, and it still would not be enough to win. I need Republican votes, and the Republican area are so polarized, even though they hate Virginia Fox because she has done nothing for them, they will never check that Democrat box, but they will vote for an independent.
That's what I was thinking about doing.
So sick and tired of Virginia Fox and her 10 terms, 20 plus years, and her family making ungodly amounts of money while she does nothing for her own constituents.
I mean, she was just cooked in that committee.
Is an independent that will caucus with Dems, that will caucus with progressives, that will actually be about fiscal responsibility, unlike the MAGA conservatives that are going to be adding trillions to our debt and deficit and prove it by raising the current debt ceiling. Because they know this big, ugly bill will exponentially increase our debt.
And it's not an unpopular decision because look at even Elon Musk proposing the America Party or whatever. That's having a profound response by people.
Well, they screwed Elon Musk too, didn't they?
What?
Oh, yeah.
Screwed Elon Musk too.
Yeah, because they got rid of all of the EV mandates and
they're
tax
going
incentives.
after all these things that he pretty much steals from the American government. So
Elon Musk, if you're listening,
Virginia Fox
drop the Epstein files. Put them out there if you're upset about what they've done to you.
Yeah, exactly right. But by the way, I was going to say Virginia Fox is as useless as a damn handlebars on a picket fence.
I mean, what happened to her in that committee, House Rules Committee, was embarrassing. I was embarrassed for her. I was like, oh, God, retire. Term limits.
And this is where...
If you're wondering why I've got this picture on here, by the way, I was so angry about that vote that I posted a dick pic.
I love it. I love it so much. Got to get those dick pics out. This is also a time where if you're a voter and you're hearing this and you're hearing David say that they're going to run as independents. I personally am not going to run as an independent. That is for a couple of reasons, but we have to vet our candidates, and both of these men are way miles better than their opponents. So we need to make sure that going into 2026, you are vetting your candidates. Vet what they're saying. Make sure they stand on principle. They're not going to meet you, but remember, it's public transportation. We're just getting on the bus that gets as closest to the station.
I'm currently harassing my
Thank you very much for that, Victoria. I fully agree. Matt, I'm going to jump off. Can you put me on the big screen for 1 second?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
I appreciate that, man. So for anyone watching, my name is David Clayton. I spent 2 years of my life driving the country, passing out survival gear to homeless veterans. I drafted a piece of legislation called the Character by Integrity Act, and I stand on principle. I firmly believe in be about it. Don't just talk about it. And that is the number one biggest problem with our Congress today. My official campaign website will be launched tomorrow, the 4th of July, and Independent for Independence for All. And if you want a sneak peek of it, it's already live in the link in my bio. So, I plan on calling out all the legalized corruption that Citizens United has let us get to this point. Because the word representative needs to be brought back to the American public. And unfortunately today, too many in office forgot who they work for.
Absolutely.
I never did that. So thank you all very much. Matt, all the love and respect. Last message, 4th of July tomorrow. be mindful of our veterans out there, especially ones that experience PTSD. Matt, I got you. You can always call me any hour, anytime, any day if you need.
Appreciate you, brother.
To talk. So I'm here for you.
Good to see you, David.
Be safe. Love you all.
Love you, bud.
Pleasure meeting you.
And listen, Matt, you inspired me by going over to your candidate every day, so now I'm harassing mine.
Good.
Unfortunately, his office is super far from where I live, but I've decided to Twitter harass him instead, which has been working out.
No way Olivia Juliana just showed up in my life. There's no way.
What's up, girl?
What's up, guys? I'm here to be the boring history teacher for a second.
Do it.
I wrote a Substack about this because it's been on my mind since yesterday. Back in 2010, March of 2010, when they were passing the Affordable Care Act, there was a big chunk of the Blue Dog Coalition, those are the conservatives and moderate Democrats, who didn't want to vote for it. And it's long been said Pelosi and other House leadership would pull them into the office and be like, look, you're probably going to lose your seat for voting for this, because at the time the Affordable Care Act was still pretty unpopular because people didn't understand the vision of what it was and what it was going to do. So a lot of them took the vote anyway, and they took it knowing that they were going to lose their seats for taking that vote, and 13 of them did. 13 of the Democrats that voted for the Affordable Care Act lost their seat in the following midterm election, most of which were members of the Blue Dog Coalition. So I say all that to say that these are people who took a vote that they knew would cost them electorally because it was the right thing to do. And we did not see a single Republican do the same thing today. In fact, we saw Republicans who represent districts that have as high as 67% Medicaid enrollment vote to cut Medicaid dramatically. And I think that I just really want that to sit with people and understand that, I don't think it's a comparable thing when we talk about healthcare policy of this is what Democrats have done and this is what Republicans do. And now up to 17 million people are going to lose their healthcare because of this. And that's such a tragedy. But all that to say, Republicans are cowards.
Yes.
And they have no spine. And I don't ever want to hear I'm sick of this. Well, maybe the moderates, they're not.
No.
They're not. Any of them that were going to stand with us on anything, they would have done it after January 6th, and they didn't.
Yep.
So that's it. That's my 2 cents.
You are absolutely 100% correct in everything, as always. As always.
That was very sweet, Matt. But anyway, I actually have to go back to work now, but I wanted to come say hi. So thank you for letting me up to give my little spiel.
Anytime. Always welcome.
All right, bye all.
I'll kick everybody else off the panel.
Okay, I can breathe now. Jesus Christ.
Was that your first time being on a panel with Olivia?
That was my first time ever. And she was on top of me. It's like double whammy. Ugh.
She's pretty awesome.
She is pretty awesome. She throws great events out here.
Mm-hmm.
Texas. I've been to a couple in Houston.
Go unalive happily.
Hey, Mark Green is resigning from Congress.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
He was already set to do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
He cast his vote to strip 17 million people of their health care, and now he's walking away.
Who was the second Republican that voted no for the bill?
Brian
was
Fitzpatrick.
That Fitzgerald or Fitzpatrick?
Fitzpatrick.
Did he run out this time again?
Probably. He sprinted out of that vote
First
last
of all, I've
night.
never seen somebody. They actually tried to search for him on the grounds, and he actually
couldn't
left
find
the
him.
grounds.
Yeah.
He took off.
He was like, nah, I'm out. Peace. Gone.
I hope
Leaving.
Elon protects that man from re-election. Because anybody that's willing to say no and run so that they can't find him and change his mind, that is a man for the people.
Well, you do know Kentucky is very purple right now, so
Kentucky is such a weird place. It's such a weird place.
It's the alcohol.
I tell this story all the time. When I was living in Kentucky and when I grew up in Kentucky and whatnot, people in Kentucky talk about politics a lot. I never heard anything good about Mitch McConnell the entire time I lived there. I lived there most of my life. Never heard anything good about Mitch McConnell from anybody. People complained about him being just the worst constantly. And yet he always won elections. Every time.
Well, you know something, though, Matt? What part of Kentucky? You weren't from Letcher County, were you?
No, I was from Grant County.
You know about Letcher County, don't you?
I do. Yeah. Yeah, I do.
The thing is, I don't think they really were invested in caring, and they just kept electing.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, Kentucky is such a weird place because it's people recognize that, you know, they're not getting anything from their representatives, but they're going to keep voting with them because they recognize the name.
I heard 2 hospitals in Kentucky and rural Kentucky just closed today, knowing that this was going to be happening.
Yeah, you know something. They closed one of the hospitals over here. There were 2 in this town over across from me, and
ridiculous.
They closed one during the Trump administration last time, right before the pandemic, and it was absolute terrible timing.
I saw somebody in the comments talk about Chip Roy. Chip Roy was going to vote for this regardless. Yeah. The only thing that Chip Roy wanted is that he wanted the Medicaid work requirements to hit immediately. But what they did is they met in the middle. So as soon as the midterms are over, it will automatically go into effect, which is exactly what he asked for. But we're all expecting this from Chip Roy, a man who advocates for lynching out here in Texas. So I don't know why we all are surprised about Chip Roy. I wasn't surprised at all.
Somebody in the comments named Katie Chu said Massey flipped no.
No, Massey was a no,
Yeah,
Massey
he was a no.
And Fitzpatrick were a no.
Yeah, Massey and Fitzpatrick were no's. Yeah.
No, he never... I don't think he flipped yes.
No,
I want to say something.
I don't think
Can
so.
I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, just related to Mark Green. Mark Green resigned like 20 days ago.
Yeah.
And this is something so this it didn't just happen and this is something I've been following because I've, lived in a lot of countries in South America. And the weirdest thing about Mark Green is he's a super wealthy guy. He was going to lobbyists on K Street. I read all the Capitol Hill blogs about corrupt Republicans. He's been going from lobbyist firm to lobbyist firm, trying to talk to them about some sort of deal in Guyana. And if you understand what's recently happened in South America and what MAGA can't read, so they don't understand what goes on in South America. The reason that Nicolas Maduro is doing this whole crazy, I'm not leaving office in Venezuela, and he's just basically annexing the ground in Guyana is because Venezuela has huge oil reserves, but it's like crude. It's not sweet crude. It's harder to get out of the ground. And Guyana, they recently found the largest oil reserves they think in the world underneath the ground and near the surface. And so people think that Mark Green, this is just the speculation that he is about to go try to, do a bunch of shady shit with lobbyists. And he couldn't remain in Congress because it would be so wrong to do what he's about to do, right? Which I don't know if he's going to ally with Maduro or what he's up to, but people think it has to do with the oil they found in Guyana.
Well, I heard that people were saying that because normally lobbyists call on Congress people to have meetings. I heard that he was actually calling lobbyists to have meetings in his office, and people thought it was the strangest thing that he was requesting.
Yeah. Just real quick, because some people were saying that Massey flipped yes. Here's the clerk's page, the recorded vote for the roll call on House Resolution 1, right, which is the big, stupid, fucking horrible bill from today. You can see there were two no Republican votes, and if you go down here, you can see that it was Fitzpatrick and Massey were the two.
So have you guys been watching that investigation in that suit that was filed in New York about the 0 votes that Vice President Harris received in one district?
It's not. It's less about. It's less about Kamala. It's Rockland County.
Yeah,
and it's less about Kamala Harris. It has to do with Gillibrand. It's more about the Senate votes than it is about Kamala Harris. It's not going to flip Kamala Harris vote. It's more suspicious the Senate votes. It has to do with Gillibrand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the reason I was asking. I just started researching that.
Yeah. And here's what I know that people are looking for, like avenues and things to like figure this out. That ship has sailed, y'all.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you know, and I know you know that. Like, I'm saying for you know, everybody that, because I get questions asked a lot about this Rockland County you know, lawsuit and everything. It's like, oh, it's going to flip the election and all that. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It is not going to. Okay. Donald Trump is not leaving office. And you can do with what I just said, you can take that to mean whatever you want, because that's how I meant it. Okay. So there you go.
Yeah, it's like warts or luggage. You can't get rid of them.
Mm-hmm. So,
circling back to Mark Green's district, we're waiting on the official word to come through. There are people who have been tapped either by DC to run against him, but there is a fight with the old guard who does not want any progressives on the ticket in that district.
Tell them to suck a fart out of your ass, and we're putting progressives everywhere.
I literally just caught a violation. Are you trying to get me to catch another one?
No, that's why I said it.
That's why I love you.
You caught a violation again?
No, I caught the one for talking about Janice fuckface.
Yeah.
So I try to take the heat, and then you go and do some shit like that. You're about to get hit with another one.
Well, I mean, she literally looks like she got conceived during an oil change, Matt.
Oh, I know.
Look, if you guys want me to put that on a t-shirt, my fourth wall is almost live.
Just real quick, just so that everybody's aware, this bill has already had negative effects on healthcare accessibility for people in this country. Okay. There are people in rural Southwest Nebraska that are now less accessible to their health care than they were 24 hours ago. Okay. We have to, you know, it's important to continue to highlight the fact that this wasn't hyperbole, right? This wasn't conjecture. This wasn't us just being like, hey, this could happen. No. We said it's going to happen, and it is already started. Okay. So it's going to be important that every single person that voted yes for this bill, every single Republican, is reminded of what they did every waking moment for the rest of their lives. Print this story off and start mass sending it to literally every single Republican in the fucking House of Representatives and in the Senate. Like, this is on you. These people are now worse off because of you, not because of anything else, because of you. This is your fault. As a matter of fact, I'm going to print. This will be what I take to Claudia tomorrow. Is this article right here? Congratulations. Your vote, your yes vote, has now made it more difficult for people in rural Southwest Nebraska to receive health care that they might need. It's going to be holding the mirror up, and it's going to be, listen, this is, what do we do? How do we move forward? Here's how we move forward. All right. Here's how we move forward. The Republicans are going to try to distance themselves from this bill. Okay? They are going to try to distance themselves from this bill at least for the next 2 years, right? At least for the next 2 years. Do not let them do that. Point out every single time you get something like this, you see something like this, you remind them that you're paying attention and you're not just going to sit back and stay quiet any longer. The time for sideline politics and I'm just going to ride the bench and see what happens, that ship's gone. All right. That ship has sailed. We are well beyond and past that time. Okay. We are well beyond and past that time. So if you want marching orders now, if you want to know what you do moving forward to fix this, how do we prevent this from killing more people down the line? You stop sitting on your ass. You stop waiting for somebody else to do something, and you start doing it. I had a Venn diagram that I'm going to put up in a video later, and it's literally just what you're willing to do, what you're able to do, and everything that overlaps there are your action items, and that's what you do every single day until the world is the way that it needs to be for everybody.
Well, you know something, Matt, in Victoria, I just looked at the rural hospitals that are at risk of closing in 2025 in Tennessee, and it's Vanderbilt Wilson County in Lebanon, Unicoi County Hospital in Irwin, which is going to put those people an hour away from any kind of care. Smithville, Sparta, Woodbury, or more. This is a disaster for these people. Yes. And those people in those areas, it's Republican, it's majority non-ethnic areas that are, the majority of them are Republican. I mean, high percentile.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, this isn't just going to affect, Democrats, which is what I think a lot of Republican voters think, is that, this is just going to affect the liberals. We did it, guys. We owned the libs. Meanwhile, you're choking on your own vomit because you can't get to a fucking doctor.
When you cook yourself, who eats it?
Exactly. So I just need everybody to recognize that this bill is, again, there's already people that are being negatively affected by it. It hasn't even been signed into law yet. Okay? There are already people negatively affected by this bill. Okay? Already. And I guarantee you, this rural Nebraska area voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump. I guarantee you they did. And all of these people that voted for Donald Trump are now going to be worse off than they were 24 hours ago because of Donald Trump.
Yeah, 42% of babies are born on Medicaid. 42% of babies in the entire country are born on Medicaid. That's 50%. Oh, actually, I think it's a little bit over. 50% of the children in America get their health insurance from Medicaid. It's important to understand these things.
Yes.
My first was born on Medicaid because I was furloughed during the pandemic. And I had to go on TennCare because I didn't have insurance, and my insurance company wanted me to pay out of pocket during my furlough, and I was like, I can't. With what money? With my $200?
This is going to affect seniors. This is going to affect disabled people. This is going to affect impoverished people. Okay, and then on top of that, those are just the people that are going to be directly affected by these Medicaid cuts. The people that are going to be indirectly affected is going to be literally everybody else when 400 more hospitals and clinics close around the nation. Just remember that.
In the health desert in the South, in rural Texas, for instance, it was already an hour and a half drive on average. You had to cross at least one county through an entire county without a rural hospital to get to a county where you could have a baby. I mean, that was prior to all this. And even though we talk about maternal health deserts, the South is also just a health desert, period. And rural areas in general are health deserts. Kentucky is a great example of this. Like, Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky, broke this down, how it's every other county on average that even has a hospital in rural areas. And now they're going to lose, I think, like 45 hospitals in those counties. or it's something. I mean, that's how high it is. So now you will have to drive maybe 3 counties to get to a hospital. If you are hemorrhaging, if you are having heart failure, all of these things, people will not survive these things. It's essentially socially engineering people out of existence. And when you go talk to your weirdo MAGA family members, or if you're a creator and you debate or whatever, do understand there are no undocumented immigrants. There are 0 undocumented immigrants on Medicaid, on federal Medicaid.
Right.
There are 11 states, because I can read and do math. There are 11 states that independently, using state tax dollars, had 1.5 million undocumented immigrants were getting some form of insurance. And I can tell you, as a born and raised Arizonan, why a border state would do something like that. Because let me tell you, when undocumented immigrants, if you're like, yeah, we first of all, no undocumented immigrants were on Medicaid, but like Texas, Minnesota Cares, their state Medicaid program, the Republicans just forced a vote to kick undocumented immigrants off that program. Understand, that was subsidizing the care you're going to pay for anyways. Now you get to pay full price in the emergency room. It's just, MAGA doesn't understand how insurance works. Insurance helps mitigate the cost for state taxpayers. Now you can pay $500 of Tylenol for undocumented immigrants. You're paying for it either way. We were just subsidizing it and spreading out the cost in a pricing matrix that was more affordable. But understand, when you hear MAGA saying, great, now all the undocumenteds aren't going to be on Medicaid, there was not one undocumented person on federal Medicaid.
And I want to point out that they put a provision in the Senate version of this bill to give a $50 billion like slush fund for rural hospitals. And that is the excuse that they will use for this article behind you, Matt. Is that they have a slush fund and it will be fine.
Question about that. Is $1 trillion more than $50 billion?
Yes, but you know how math is.
Oh no, I know, but I'm just like, I just want to make sure, because
it's not just annually either; it's over 5-year period.
When people are talking about like, well, there's this slush fund there to help mitigate these losses, you just cut $1 trillion fucking dollars from the program. $50 billion is less than $1 trillion fucking dollars by a lot. You're $950 billion short, my guy.
And how much does every one of these hospitals run? Like in value? Because you're talking about.
It's not about. Listen, they're for profit. I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding. Like, it's not about their value. They're for-profit hospitals. It's who is paying the bills for the patients. They call them bones and babies hospitals, because Medicaid, the $1 trillion that Matt's coming from, that is who is paying the bills. If you're a for-profit hospital and you can't pay these bills because everyone was having their bills paid by Medicaid, then you close.
Yeah.
This is an absolute damn shame, is what it is. And you know, and for these people to have voted for this, and for what? Where do you win in this?
You know,
these people. When those nursing homes close and they send your grandma back to the house and drop her off in a wheelchair, they don't give her a wheelchair. They sit on a cardboard box in the driveway.
Here's what we got to remember: Republicans in Congress don't give two shits about the average everyday person. They don't care that your parents are now going to get kicked out of their nursing home because it closed, because they don't have the Medicaid subsidies anymore and it can't afford to stay open. They don't care that your parents are going to have to come and live in your fucking bedroom or in your basement. They don't give a fuck about that, because their parents are going to be fine, right? Remember that. Like, congressional Republicans, they're not losing anything. They will feel no negative impact on this at all. You know whose health care is not at risk of being lost? Congressional Republicans. They're on a whole separate fucking healthcare system. And I've never once heard them say, I don't know, I think maybe we're paying too much for these congressional fucking healthcare plans. Maybe we cut some money there. Okay?
Yeah, they've got tier 1 Cobra, don't they?
They got the best of the best. They can go wherever they want, whenever they want, see whoever they want without question or administrative hassle. They can do whatever the fuck they want. But you sitting out there in bumfuck nowhere, Kentucky, who's trying to figure out, do I pay for my insulin today or do I keep the electricity on in my house? They don't care about you. They never have. But for whatever fucking reason, your smooth brain, lack of critical thought, fucking moronic ass continues to vote for these people because you've got it in your mind that the liberals are the ones that are ruining your fucking life. There's a trans kid playing basketball that's destroying our country. You're about to die, Barbara. You are about to fucking die. Your fucking Medicare is gone. And it wasn't the trans kid running track that took it away from you. Okay? It wasn't that. Hey. That person didn't take it away from you, Barbara.
Hey, man, I'm going to say this and I got to go. Listen. What happened today, when they send your parents home, your grandparents home from those nursing homes, when you try to get your health care, you try to get to see the doctor and you can't. Or if somebody that you love gets sick and they can't see anybody for care because they can't afford it, this is what you did. Mm-hmm. And all this is left up to owning the libs and your internalized racism and misogyny, basically. And the thing about it is this is not going to affect blue states. Because blue states have money. The red states that don't have the state health care, California's got state health care, Massachusetts has got state health care. There's the Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida. They don't have this health care, and they're cutting you off of it.
Yep.
And you don't even know it yet. You're so damn stupid and stuck on watching Fox News and OAN and listen to these lies that they're telling. You watched how he did Elon Musk after buddying up with him. He betrayed him.
Yep.
So I don't want to, you know what? I haven't even been on lives talking to MAGA lately because they're fucking stupid. And they are so stupid.
You cannot run from Congress and say these things, though. Do you understand that you need, in your district, you need Republican votes? Like, this is...
Well, you know something, Felice, the thing about it is they're shirking off over here. These people, whenever he cut FEMA off for Hurricane Helene, which came right through my area and over to Matt. It came right past me and went straight to Matt. These people started changing, and I see them every day because I confronted them about who they were going to vote for before they went and did it. And now whenever I'm in gas stations at the grocery store, I see little old ladies saying, I didn't know he was going to do that. That's what I've been putting up with.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I talk to these people, I'm going to let them eat the crap that they shat out of their body. Let them eat that for a little while. Then I'm going to start talking to them and saying, we can change this. We can change this. But the people that are in charge right now, Scott Desjardins, Diane Harshbarger, there's a whole gang of them that they are cooking their own people. Mm-hmm. Literally cooking their own people. And I'm seeing it in real time because I live near the lake. Whenever food gets scarce here, guess what happens? People start fishing. And they start doing it illegally because they can't afford the fishing license. So what I'll watch for is I'll watch for the game warden to go up and down the street. And I'm like, okay, so we're in some kind of financial crisis here. Something must have got cut off because these people are fishing. I'm going to get T-shirts with Critter Lives Matter. Because there's not going to be a groundhog, possum, raccoon, nothing safe here.
Love it, Lex.
Lives do matter.
Love it.
I'm absolutely exhausted with all this, and sometimes you gotta let them get cooked by the fire, and not cozy up to them, but say, "Hey, you cooked yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm here to help you uncook yourself."
Yep.
So that's what it is. I am Dr. Alexander Lex Lucchese is my producer name, Warren, and I'm going to fucking run for Congress.
Let's go.
See you later.
Appreciate you, Lex. Gina.
We always make the news for the worst reasons. It's like, oh, hey, look, a story about Nebraska. We're fucking shutting down a hospital.
Yeah, sorry. I just once I would
just
like
one of at least 3.
Yeah. Just once I would like a good Henry Dorley Zoo news article that I could put up here. I mean, like, see, there's good shit in Nebraska too, guys.
What's happening with Don Bacon? Do you know?
What?
With Don Bacon, he's not running again. Is that in Nebraska?
He is not running again because he is a giant fucking coward who would rather vote to screw over his constituents than offend Donald Trump.
I thought he was going to vote no, and that's why he wasn't running again. Maybe, but he voted yes. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that would assume that he has a spine, and can stand up to anybody. I posted today that as a 1-star general, he should know how to fight for people. But he's being a 1-star congressman. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Truly, I thought he was like announcing his retirement because he was going to like take a stand. Yeah, that's disappointing.
Yeah, no, a lot of people thought that. A lot of people were like, oh, maybe he's movable. No, not Don Bacon. Don Bacon abdicated all give-a-shits about his entire district and is like, hey, yeah, let's just fuck everybody over while I not only get military retirement as a 1-star general. I don't know how much that is, but I'm going to figure it out. And yeah.
How long was he in? Do you know?
No,
if he was a 1-star general, he was in for at least 30 years.
Yeah.
If he was in for at least 30 years, then he gets 100% of his base pay as retirement. And I think for a 1-star general, it's probably like $10,000 a month.
Yeah. I thought it was 6,000 the last time I looked, but I like 10,000. That sounds about right. And he's going to get full congressional retirement. So he's going to be double dipping on our money while he's building a brand new house in Sarpy County, as far away from the center of his, current district as he could get. Like, he didn't want to be in the district, so they had to get a little strip of bacon in there for him so his house wouldn't be outside the district. Yeah. That's Nebraska. It's so fun.
Yeah. Nikki, how are you, my friend?
Nebraska District 2. Like, is that in Omaha, or like, do you know, like, where is Don Bacon's district?
I have a map. I can show you. So Don Bacon's district is this little green part here.
Hold on.
Here, let me unflip my camera too. Is that the correct direction for y'all?
Nope.
Okay, let me try that again.
There we go.
Okay, it was right before. Okay, so this is Don Bacon's district. This is the little strip of bacon, like this little part here. That's where his new house is. Ignore the numbers; they were for another project. But this is Congressional District 1, this blue one. So it's like Beavis and Butthead.
Yes.
Okay, so it looks like Butthead.
Love it. Yeah. It does.
That's a pretty, like, it's a flippable district, right? I mean, it was a pretty moderate area. Is that correct?
Right. It was very close before, and now we are not going to let him forget any of this.
Love that you just have like a map right behind you. That's amazing. Amazing.
So I actually work for the Nebraska Democratic Party, and I'm in our conference room.
Yeah.
So
I love a map.
So I have like all of the maps. I cannot figure out this camera angle, but
Gina's got all the information on Nebraska.
I also have cute donkeys.
He can flip that district. I'm glad he's leaving, but my worst fear is that we get someone more insane, MAGA insane in there. But hopefully it goes the right way.
But here's the thing. That district specifically has had, like, we've had a bunch of people run. We've gotten very close multiple times. We are like, it is very flippable. The reason that people voted for him, one, I think, is because he had a food name.
That tracks.
And when you're like given the opportunity to vote for your favorite food, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I mean, as someone that comes from the world of advertising, name recognition is almost insurmountable, right? Like familiarity and name recognition, it's almost everything on a ballot. It's scary.
Yeah. And the Republicans that are running in the primary for that seat are terrible. Terrible. Like MAGA. So people voted for Don Bacon because they thought he was a moderate. I called him a cosplay moderate. And yeah, it is. He's not a moderate. He is MAGA, but he liked to pretend to be moderate. But I just finished making a graphic about all of the cuts that are going to happen in Nebraska. If you want to hear some numbers.
Sure. Yeah.
Love numbers.
Okay, so we'll see $6.5 billion in cuts to Medicaid. Our hospitals lost over $1.2 billion treating Medicare and Medicaid patients in 2024. So they were 44% of rural hospitals were already operating at a loss. 2 hospitals will face imminent closure. That's Avera Creighton Hospital in Creighton and Ogallala Community Hospital in Ogallala. Curtis Community Health Center has already announced that they are closing, and I just found a typo in my graphic.
This is why we do this.
Between 22 and 24, 20% of Nebraska hospitals eliminated services like labor and delivery, behavioral health, and hospital-owned nursing homes. Further cuts will mean further reductions in services provided. Roughly 78,300 people will lose medical coverage. That is not just Medicaid, but that is also a reduction in, I believe, a reduction in the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act. So if you buy your insurance on the marketplace, they just fucked us all over.
And do you know they're basically not, if I understand what I read, they're not renewing the subsidies. So when does that expire? Do you have any idea of when that will hit for the people on the Affordable Care Act? Is it the start of 2026 or is it sooner?
That will probably be the start of 2026.
It already started.
So they did remove some of those subsidies before. And because,
Georgia had a trigger law. Georgia had something in place. It already started. They did it today to me. So I got 15 days notice that Georgia was going to do this. As all of you know, I'm disabled, but I work really hard at home. But I'm on Medicare and on disability. And Brian Kemp, my freaking governor, decided to put 2 weeks notice. And then not only did they decide to take away the subsidies if this passed, but they decided to charge back all of the people who are on this 4 fucking months in one check. So I'm paying 4 months back for all of this on today, the day that I have to pay rent, go grocery shopping, all of this on 2 weeks notice. So Sandy in the comments who's saying, yay, this bill passed, anybody who's saying, yay, this bill passed, so goddamn those people coming over the border can't get all of these coverage, they don't get it. I do. Because I can't freaking go to work. I can work at home, but y'all don't want me to work at home either. But Matt can verify that I work my ass off. Felice can verify that I work my ass off. I'm not an idiot. I'm not stupid. My legs don't work because I have a blood condition. But let me tell you, whoever says yay, I hope that you're on the same train as I am.
It will be one day. As someone who almost died 5 years ago, don't worry, Nikki. It's coming for them too. They'll get it. If they haven't experienced it yet, they'll realize.
Let me tell you, I'm in Georgia and I can't wait to get out. And Matt knows. I've been trying to get out. I found, I'm going to try to go to upstate New York. I found tiny houses and everything. I don't care if I live in a box in another state as long as it's blue. My governor and Florida and Texas are all in the whole same thing of kissing his ass. So all of you down there that keep saying, I'm so glad he passed it. I don't know anybody that this is going to affect. You do. I have a 26-year-old son that lives with me who's on disability and Medicare because he's autistic. They're going to do it to him too. All you people in the comments that say, well, they shouldn't take advantage of all these food stamps and this and that. I want to be very clear, and I want you to see my face when I tell you this. My son is 26 years old. He's an adult. For me and him together, we get $140 fucking dollars a month to survive on. But I need to be eating healthier, right? I need to, I need to do that, right? Which I can't do because they don't cover tuna fish or like any of it. But I can get chocolate milk and Captain Crunch and all of that. But you people yell over and over and over again how all these immigrants and illegals, and that's not my word, are taking advantage of the system, and you don't give a shit who it's actually helping. No, Carrie, I'm not kidding. I can't get tuna fish in packets at all. I can get a can. I can't get it in packets because my hand doesn't work. But I can't do that. I can't get Raisin Bran, but I can get Captain Crunch. I can get strawberry milk. I mean, y'all make this make sense. I don't understand.
Yeah, and it's the same.
Anybody in this thing that is MAGA or voted for him. I want you to understand, I have family that voted for him. I don't speak to them at all. The day that he got elected, I was done. I will never, ever sit down to break bread with you, to speak with you. I don't give a shit if this affects you anymore. This has been affecting me since he got elected, and Matt knows that. None of y'all give a shit. You think this is a game. Fuck this country. My grandfather and everybody's turning over in their graves who fought for this country. Matt fought for this country. That man in front of you, that man is a freaking patriot of the highest extent. That man went and sat on steps and got arrested for sitting down. And you guys want to pardon people for January 6th and put them in charge of ICE. What is wrong with you? You all need to really go look in the mirror and stop saying that this only affects people that voted for him. Because it doesn't. Not only didn't I vote for him, I worked on her campaign.
This shit is real, y'all. This is why I have absolutely no use for anybody that's still walking around with a red hat on or defending this bill or coming to the defense of Donald Trump. I have no use for you. You are a useless. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care what your job is. I don't care how much you give to charity. I don't care. You are a useless human being. And I'm going to tell you why. Let me explain why real quick. And then I'm going to shut up and let everybody else talk. You don't see people as people. They're illegals. They're not human beings. They're illegals. So we get to treat them differently. You don't see kids in Gaza that are victims of constant bombing as people. You see them as collateral damage. You don't see poor people that are struggling to make ends meet as exploited demographics to the capitalist machine in the United States. You see them as moochers on the system. When you're talking about this divisive language that people say, like, man, if Democrats would just stop using such divisive language, what the actual fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? Because I'm not the one saying that the person that lives next to me is collateral damage for the greater good. There is no such thing. There is no, well, hopefully blessings come out of this curse. That's not how anything works. You don't bomb people and say, now we're at peace. You don't strip people of their health care and say, well, now we're fiscally responsible. You don't starve people to death and say, well, now they'll get up and go and do work. You don't detain people because they look different than you and say, now we're safer as a nation. There is no greater good that comes from the suffering of your neighbors. None. There is no greater good. And if you're going to be like, God works in mysterious ways, if that's your God, I don't want anything to do with it. You hear what I'm saying? Write that down. If that's your God, I want nothing to do with it. I am not going to sit back and watch my neighbors lose their lives because you have a hard-on for owning the libs. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. And so when I want any MAGA person that's in here right now, I want you to take this to heart. When I tell you that I hope the worst of the worst happens to you every fucking day. I do. I don't have any empathy for you. I have no compassion. I have nothing left to give you. We tried to sit down and talk to you like human beings, and you just continued to demonize and dehumanize your neighbors. So I don't want to, I'm not doing that anymore. Then it was, well, maybe they'll start seeing the error of their ways because this is going to start negatively affecting them. And when it was negatively affecting you, you cheered it on. Because somehow, while FEMA disaster relief after your home was destroyed was denied to you because we didn't want to spend the money, you were still winning. And now we've got this big stupid bill that's going to close down hundreds of rural hospitals, kick out millions of people off of their Medicaid, off of their health care. You're going to starve children who eat once a fucking day at their school on a free school lunch program. And that was too much to ask of you. That was too much. That's a step too far. But we'll throw a woman into tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, forcing her to bring that child into the world. We will keep a woman alive via machines until her body is literally rotting from decay, and we have to exhume the fetus out of her decaying body. But we won't feed that kid. And we're going to force everybody else to pay for that medical care to keep her alive. This is what you want. You don't have any humanity. You have no humanity. None.
And this is why I won't run for Congress, because I agree with Matt. And like, I don't have to pretend to be nice. I think people who want to run for Congress, you can't go around calling things like they see it. And this is exactly why. This is the reality. Like, and I think it's a trade-off. I often think about this. I analyze things. I've looked at tons of data because I like numbers. And the best, either there is a complete lack of empathy on the right or a complete lack of ability to read or do math or a combination of both. That's what it is. If you cheer this on, if you could be in a sinking life raft as your head is slipping under the water and we're all trapped with idiots who can't read or do math as we're all drowning together, and you have the nerve to show up with unbelievable confidence, the delusional confidence of MAGA, to show up in a live and be like, yeah, I was just home invaded. I was robbed. I was robbed by billionaires and corporations just now, and I am dumb enough to show up on the internet and cheer that on. It's an indictment on your own stupidity.
If I may,
John Fetterman.
I work as a. I'm sorry, I'll wait.
Complains because he wants to go on vacation with his family and not do the job that we're paying him for.
Like, if you don't know what she's talking about, John Fetterman had to go to the beach. He was super annoyed by all of this because he was missing his beach vacation.
I hope he gets bitten by a fucking shark.
Fuck Fetterman and fuck his fucking beach.
Like,
all right, I'm gonna hold on real quick. Southern Fried, if you want to go ahead.
I'm sorry, love.
No, you're good. You're good, Nikki. I know.
I hope you can hear me okay because my Bluetooth is not very good. But I work as a medical biller and a medical coder. I currently reside in the state of Alabama, but I have worked for clients across this country with multiple Medicaids and etc. There is a profound lack of knowledge and understanding on everything. There are federal laws on the books from 1968 that prohibit undocumented individuals from accessing Medicaid or Medicare. One of the arguments that the alt-right likes to use is California having their own separate program that has no federal funding whatsoever. It's completely fed by state taxes that they use for migrants. And it is a necessary program because you don't want somebody who is undocumented and too afraid to go to a hospital to end up going to work and spreading something. And when you try to explain that to them, they don't understand. Now, as a medical biller, medical coder, I deal a lot with various Medicaids, Medicare, etc. The largest demographic of individuals who use Medicare and Medicaid are middle-class white individuals who are over the age of 65. Being in Alabama, we have a lot of rural clinics that are already closing. And yet my Senator Katie Britt continues to push various laws trying to expand OB coverage in rural Alabama. There's no one to render that service because they've closed. They've had to move to Birmingham or Atlanta or New York because there's not any money here. We are going to see an astronomical amount of individuals empty nursing facilities and having to move in with children, grown children, who voted for this that do not have the means to support their parents or their grandparents, especially once they lose Medicare, Medicaid coverage and can no longer afford their medications. Now, also in this packet was I'm not sure of the exact legalese of it, but They want insurance companies to be able to deny coverage for pre-existing conditions again. And I'm going to give an example that I have seen in my job of how ridiculous that is. I have processed paperwork for insurances that were older than the Healthcare Reform Act. I have seen pregnancies be denied coverage because she was pregnant before. I have seen cancer coverage be denied because somebody had leukemia when they were 5. And it's not just for the plans coming out of the marketplace. This is going to affect whenever our employers move to a new health insurance like they tend to do year to year, looking for the best deal. We're going to start seeing a rejection of coverage for type 1 diabetes, lupus, MS, you name it. This has sentenced millions of people in this country to an early log out. I'm trying to keep it TikTok friendly, but this is going to get real ugly real fast across the country, not just in rural, but the rural are going to feel it first and hardest.
And if I could just push back on one thing here. When you said, you try to explain it to them, but they just don't get it. They get it.
Just don't care.
That's the thing. I'm so done giving people a pass. It's been explained. The information is out there. It's been talked about ad nauseum. They get it. They know what you're saying. They understand language and words, right? They understand when you explain these things. They just don't care.
And for all y'all down there thinking that, pre-existing conditions are like, cancer or something like that. Pregnancy is a pre-existing condition. Autism is a pre-existing condition. I have a blood disorder. That's a pre-existing condition. It's anemia. That's a pre-existing condition. High blood pressure. All of these things, diabetes, are all pre-existing conditions. I have fibromyalgia. It's a pre-existing condition. Pretty much, I have a list. I'll put it up on my thing later today of all of the things that the last bill wanted to make pre-existing conditions. Pretty much everything, including breathing, is pre-existing. So anybody that thinks that they're going to escape it because they didn't have it before, if you had kids, you did. If you had COVID, you did. Like any of that, it's all
and can I just real quick
their point,
because there's something that we've also not touched on that because there's so much terrible. I just need you all to remember something. Like, we've been spending a lot of time talking about Medicaid, right? This is going to affect Medicare also.
That's what I'm on.
And here's how, and this is, let me explain to you how, because the talking point will be, there's nothing in this bill about Medicare. You're right. There isn't. You know what there is? There is an obscene amount of money being added to the deficit all at once, and there is no way to pay for it. And if you know anything about the PAYGO Act, the Pay As You Go Act, when you add all at once something like $2.5 trillion to the deficit, that goes into effect and cuts mandatory spending for certain programs. One being $500 billion from Medicare that will trigger at the end of this year.
Yeah, if anyone wants to look this up, look up the updated PAYGO Act, Pay As You Go Act from 2010. But on my live yesterday, I was showing the letter from the CBO confirming this. Thank God when this bill, like basically anytime the deficit is widened beyond 2.3, this is the largest blowout to the deficit in a single bill in U.S. history. Thank God there's a 4% cap on stealing from Medicare. So they can only steal. So, and understand, Medicare, we all thought we pay into this, it's going to be waiting for us when we need it when we're older. No, again, they're going to steal $45 billion it's probably a little over $45 billion, but somewhere right around there is the 4% cap on Medicare a year for 10 years. So it's going to be just under $500 billion that's going to be stolen from Medicare because, and understand this, everyone who's going to die, and I don't know how to say it any nicer, all of the 50% of children in this country are on Medicaid. 42% of babies their births are funded by Medicaid, right? Everyone who's going to lose coverage, that does not save us a dime. Just understand that. This is the largest blowout to the deficit. Our children's children will be paying this off. We are going to borrow $3.3 trillion. So just understand, immediately, your mortgages going up. Any loans you have, any financing, it's going to increase because the U.S. government is about to borrow $3.3 trillion. And we are not saving money. That's just so corporations and billionaires can pay less. Every time you buy something at the cash register, you're being taxed so corporations and billionaires can pay less. Trump isn't all of these people, all children who won't be able to go to the doctor. Just understand, there's nothing fiscally responsible about this. We're not saving a dime. We have never blown out the deficit like this in effing history. Period. There's no other way to describe it. And they are stealing from Medicare for minimum $45 billion over 10 years, starting in 2026.
Yep.
If I may, for the Medicare part, in September, Medicare is supposed to stop covering telehealth services, which is when you can call into your doctor no matter where you are. And if and when all these clinics, these rural healthcare facilities, these what's called an FQHC, when they all close, there's no way for these people to get treatment or anything. They won't be able to renew their prescriptions because they can't drive 4 hours to town to see their doctor for 30 minutes. That's the first cut that's going to be coming, and that's supposed to start in September. It was supposed to start in April, but hospitals across the country had a conniption fit over it, some southern colloquial there, to push back that deadline. So they agreed to push it back to September.
Meaning, if it's hours drive to renew your meds, you used to be able to see your doctor as long as they were licensed in that state online for a 15-minute appointment or whatever. You can no longer do that. If you can't physically get to your doctor, no more heart medication, no more blood pressure medication, nothing anymore. You have to physically be able to get there. And I was listening to a doctor say, like, I have to put AM and PM on these bottles or people don't know, I have patients that don't know where they are. Like I said, I was in a coma 5 years ago, so I have a neurologist and he's like, I am trying to get my patients to, I'm trying to figure out on telemed appointments if they understand what's happening. And then you're going to, that's the point. What has happened with Medicaid is modeled after Georgia's. It's ironic that Nikki's talking about Georgia because Georgia has a Medicaid model that has work requirements. And
not only do we have work requirements, but they started the whole telehealth thing too.
And it's not that people aren't working. Nope. It's that it is so hard to submit the monthly work requirements online. Because like I said, people have to put AM and PM on their medication. They don't know what's going on. They can't figure out how to every single month submit a spreadsheet of work requirements online. So people get so frustrated, they just quit trying.
Yep. So let me also
Medicaid also does not cover the treatment for miscarriage.
Or a preemie. God forbid your child has to go to the NICU. Not at all.
I do have to step off. I forgot I had a meeting, so I just got an angry text message. So healthcare.
Healthcare.
Hi, Sally.
Appreciate you coming up and talking, my friend. Thanks so much.
I just put the list in Matt's Discord in live chat of the pre-existing conditions. That's a small list. It has grown since the last time, but that's just an idea for y'all to understand.
It did pass, Laura. It passed. Let me. Since we're talking about the Medicare thing with the cuts to that, there's going to be people that are going to lose their Medicare, and let me explain to you, because Republicans love to put us up there as political pawns anyway. Let me explain to you how that's going to fuck over retired veterans. Okay. So when you retire from the military, you get moved on to what's called TRICARE for life, right? Or TRICARE, right? TRICARE Prime, right? Or you're on TRICARE Prime or TRICARE for life or TRICARE Standard, TRICARE Remote, until you hit 65 years of age. All right. Once you hit 65, you are required to be enrolled in Medicare Part A and Medicare Part B to maintain your TRICARE for life benefits. How many retired veterans are about to lose their Medicare because of these $500 billion cuts that are also going to lose their TRICARE benefits because they can't be enrolled in it?
Well, Matt, it's also, seniors who have Medicare, who have supplemental insurance plans, they're no longer going to be able to afford those supplemental insurance plans. And often, even with A and B, people are not able to afford their medications because they're on a fixed income. And most seniors are, in fact, on maintenance medications. Mm-hmm. And those supplemental insurance plans help cover that.
Yep.
So what are we going to do? Yeah, it's not just seniors. It's not just seniors.
Yeah, Carrie, yes. At that point, TRICARE is the supplemental. Medicare is your primary. TRICARE is the supplemental.
Yeah,
at 65 years old, that's when it does that.
Yep.
Yeah, if you ever have any other health insurance, TRICARE is always the supplemental insurance is always the secondary. But once you hit 65, it gets even worse for you.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're going to see hospitals are in trouble. I work in one of the busiest emergency departments in the entire country. And people often use the emergency department as their go-to when they don't have insurance. Because there are people who are still uninsured and underinsured. We are going to absorb those costs from the hospitals that are able to remain open and continue to provide services. And our hospital systems are going to become extremely overwhelmed. People are going to unalive.
People are asking about CHAMP VA also. Yes, it's the same thing. When you hit 65 years old, you have to be enrolled in Medicare Part A and Part B, and then CHAMP VA becomes your supplemental. So if you lose your Medicare, then you also lose your CHAMP VA. That's gone as well.
So somebody mentioned urgent care. Urgent care and the emergency department are a little bit different because of EMTALA. EMTALA does not apply to urgent care centers. It only applies to hospitals with emergency departments. So it's a little bit different than one versus the other. Typically, urgent cares will take insurance or cash pay, and if you cannot do one of those two things, then you don't get treatment. They'll refer you to the emergency department. So emergency departments are going to become vastly overwhelmed. Like you thought that 4-hour, 5-hour, 6-hour wait was bad. Yeah, buddy, you ain't seen shit yet.
Yeah.
They're also saying the part of SNAP benefits are going to be continued or contingent on the fact that you do not have internet at home. Now, if you this is in the bill that they wanted to pass overnight, so nobody would see it. So if you have access to internet at home, which all of the kids are required to for school or something like that, they're going to disqualify you because they said if you can pay for the internet, you can pay for the food.
This is like first time I've had an opportunity to really say anything, but this is kind of reminiscent of back when there were arguments about the internet being classified as a utility, so that back when in some shape or form when I do content, John Oliver always comes up. He did a piece years ago about net neutrality and getting the FCC to stop what he called cable company fuckery and making sure that the internet was classified as a utility as opposed to just some shit that you can just get.
A benefit, yeah.
And exactly, my brain just kind of went to sleep for a second.
I get it, mine does it all the time.
This is exactly why that shit needed to happen. To keep shit like this from taking place. The fact that they're trying to pass this crap overnight where nobody could could see it is foul enough.
Mm-hmm.
But it just, I mean, all I can do, because I don't live in the U.S. Matt knows I live in Germany. That's why the
I
flag
come
is
live
right
with
there.
you.
Say what?
Can I come live with you?
I got space, you know.
I need to be adopted.
Wait, I went and got my kids' passports this morning. We went and did our passport appointment, and I am still legally married. He lives in Europe, and he said we can go live with him, and I'm seriously considering it.
Well, first of all, to Amanda, you have rapidly become one of my favorite human beings in recent time.
She's brilliant.
I appreciate that.
Following you was one of the best decisions I made not too long ago. And Felice, same thing goes for you. I've been following you for a long time.
Felice is
and
awesome.
I'm really, really tickled to be in a live with you. I've been buddies with Matt for a while now. We go back to like my earliest time.
Picture it, Sicily, 1933.
But the thing for me, I kind of wanted to get just to this shit that's happening in Florida with the what do they call it? An alligator
Alcatraz.
Because of where I live and because of the contact that I have with, I mean, I'm friends with my ex-wife is German. I speak German. I speak to German people every damn day. And all they say to me, they're like, they do know what happened here in the 30s, right? And I'm like, I think they do, but it seems like they're determined to firmly step down upon the rake of history and let the handle slap them square in the fucking face.
Selective amnesia.
Because I mean, the birthright citizenship thing, the same shit happened here, where all of the Jewish people had their citizenship to Germany taken away from them. The rapid construction of this goddamn concentration camp in the middle of Florida.
And it already flooded, by the way.
What the fuck is that? If you can't see the parallels, I mean, Good Trouble did a video about it earlier today. If you can't see the parallels between what that place looks like and what the inside of Auschwitz and Dachau, what they look like, it's just insane that they've got blinders on and all they're doing is feeling shit and not understanding anything. And it's really pissing me off.
Yep. So Matt, my question to you is, when are you and I going to unseat Claudia and Daniel?
I can't.
If Matt runs against Claudia, I will move up there to his district and I will work for him.
Here's why I'm not a good candidate, because if somebody shows up anywhere in a red hat, I'm going to tell them that I hope they get the worst possible news that they've ever heard in their life every single day for the rest of their life.
How about if I say that for you?
So here's the thing, though,
it's
Matt.
cathartic, though. I have to say
Matt,
it for myself.
You know what, Matt? I could play the role of that sketch with Obama and
my angry translator.
Yeah, right. I'm standing back there like this,
I would love to
angry
see
translator
also run for office.
Exactly.
Felice. I would love to see you run for office as well. And Matt, it's okay that you feel that way and you would do that. And you want to know why? Because the time for respectability politics is over. The time for they go low, we go high is over. Because that's why we are the way we are in this country right now. That's why we're here. Because people who have a half a fucking cent in their brain didn't want to play dirty with people who were literally throwing mud. Mm-hmm. And we can't be nice anymore. We can't play this game anymore. We have to fight back, and the only way we're going to fight back is if we say what the fuck we need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're a fucking New Yorker. Your New Yorker needs to come out.
I wasn't born here.
I don't care. You live here.
Hey, Matt. Duck, gray duck.
Yeah, I know. Listen, the six of you here are not the only ones that are trying to pressure me to do this.
If you do it, I do it. Let's do it. Come on.
Well, Matt, I will tell you this, and I will tell everybody on this panel this as well. Matt knows, but that I'm an employee of the federal government. I'm a general schedule employee, and there's always a possibility that they're going to force me back to the States because generally overseas rotations are only for 5 years. I've been here for a decade, and at some point they're going to be like, we need to get that dude's ass back over here.
Hey, Mike,
Well,
what field do you work in?
I'm gonna raise all kinds of hell if I have to go back.
No. What field do you work in?
I'm supply and logistics.
Man, connect with me offline. My ex he works. I got you. I can hook you up with his company. He'll get you to stay there. So
okay,
and he makes really good money. So just message me offline. We'll connect.
Will do. Shit, I'll just hop on my iPad. Hold up.
He's like, I'll do it right now. I ain't gotta
Yeah,
wait.
you gotta message me because I'll forget.
He's like, I ain't gotta wait. I'll do it right now.
Trying to find work over on
How
the
many
West
people on
Coast,
this
but I can't
panel
get
have ADHD?
ADHD, it's undiagnosed, but I'm sure that I do.
Well, mine was until I got it diagnosed. Now I have a pre-existing condition.
Yep.
I do have to go because I got to go pick up and drop off people, and I got to go buy some candy so I can go to a parade tomorrow and ruin some Republicans' days by being a patriotic Democrat.
Wait, you're throwing candy at Republicans?
No, actually,
Is it
we're giving
circus
it
peanuts?
Because
it should be circus
Get
peanuts.
the shitty candy.
No, candy corn.
So
Candy
here's
corn,
the thing.
circus
It really
peanuts.
Because they're hard.
It really pisses off Republicans when you are nice to their kid.
That is true.
Yeah.
Can you put candy in a t-shirt cannon and throw it at the adults?
At their face.
No.
Oh,
But we do
damn
have,
it.
there's a house at this particular parade. There is a house that always targets us with water balloons. And we have some farmers driving a military truck this year.
With manure in it?
For our float. And
Very French.
they have some giant water sprayers.
Love it.
Yeah, they're for our protection. So
perfect. Love it.
Love
yeah, there's a particular house on a particular corner that is raising a bunch of real shitty teenagers.
I need one of those like gummy spider things on it.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for having me up. Fuck everybody who voted for this stupid fucking bill. And
thank you for showing us the map. That was awesome.
Yeah, we love maps.
Anytime. Literally. If
Cartography
you got
central
Nebraska
up in this
questions,
motherfucker, man. I love it.
yeah, if you got Nebraska questions or if you have questions about like inter-party politics, like I'm your girl. So
Yep, Gina's your girl.
because our chair
Well,
is actually
following
also
you,
the president of the ASDC and the vice chair of the DNC. So if there's like information I can share,
I would actually really appreciate that. I mean, I know you're in a different state, but I can't get any information out of my state Democratic Party. I contacted them to challenge Katie Britt in 2028, and I can't even get them to tell me how to even start a campaign fund or anything. Their excuse was, well, I had to figure that out for myself, so you can figure it out too.
That's
what state are you in?
Alabama.
Alabama.
I would love nothing more than to take Katie Britt's seat out from under her. She's from the area where I have family, and her very existence is an affront to me personally.
I love you.
Existence is an affront to
The
everybody.
Very first,
Love that.
Very first
Not
thing,
kitchen table Katie.
Blink, woman. If you need help, blink.
3 times if you are being held hostage.
Robots one of by land, 2 of by phone.
Real quick, traindemocrats.org is going to be your absolute best friend. And our rural red states are severely underfunded, and the DNC/ASDC negotiated to fix that. So they're going to get an influx of monthly investments starting, I think, this fall. But yes, so
I seriously think that the Alabama Democratic Party needs to be audited because they're not sponsoring anybody at all. We have probably about a
state
half
parties
dozen
don't do
people.
that. But yeah, let's talk about this a different time. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Matt, thank you so much for everything.
Always.
And yeah.
Love you, friend.
Thank
Take care of yourself. Be safe.
Yay!
I'll say this about running for Congress. Like I'm born and raised in a swing state in Arizona where it's important. And I think actually a lot of young women are getting elected to Congress in Arizona, and it's or running, and it's a really cool thing to see.
Deja Fox, let's go.
Listen, I love Deja Fox. We met in a line meeting Tim Walz together. We were trapped in a room together for 5 hours.
The shit.
Yeah, that's who I was referring to. But also Yasmin Ansari, who was just elected, and she stayed up all day. You know, like she's doing an amazing job on oversight and accountability. There's a lot of we were just trapped in a room. That's how I met Deja Fox, trapped in a room together.
Deja's the shit.
For 5 hours. Yeah. So I'm going to help her with her campaign. I just think there's a lot of corruption in politics, and I always want to be able to speak my mind. And when I just said, like, for a second, like, oh, you can't say those things, I just mean, like, if I was running for Congress and my job is to protect roughly 750,000 people with my life, like, I'm not, even though there's going to be some stupid ones and some smart ones, right? Like, my job is just to protect them from corruption. And I think the average person in each district, when I was working 80 hours a week in advertising, even though I have a above average intelligence, like, I didn't know what was going on. You know, I thought I knew. Like, everybody in this live has an unnatural, like, we understand politics in a way the average person doesn't. So it's like, yes, and that's why I don't run for politics, so I can say things like MAGA is stupid. But like, when you start running for Congress, 750,000 people, like, my job is to protect those people regardless of their intelligence level, or if they're in cognitive dissonance or in an information silo or working 100 hours a week and think they know what's going on and have no idea what's going on. You know, I will always blame the grifter, right? Like, am I annoyed with MAGA? The cult people who follow blindly, I'm annoyed with them, but I want to hold the cult leader accountable always. And that's
for sure. Oh, for sure.
But we should be able to do that, and we've started doing that. We see Jasmine Crockett doing that. We see Maxwell Frost. We see AOC, and then all starting to speak out and cursing in interviews and doing all of those things, being actual real people. And we need more of the people like that. And we are those people. We are the people who actually give a shit. And
I'm not shaving my beard.
You don't have to shave your beard, Matt. Why would you have to shave your beard?
Somebody will be like, you got to shave your beard.
No, you don't have to shave your beard.
You do.
And
we need real people. Real people have
shit.
beards. You don't have to shave your beard, Matt.
If Virginia Fox sees you, she'll think that you're actually Santa Claus. Maybe she'll debate on the floor for actual real milk for you.
Fuck yes, I'm in.
The way I see it,
that was the last thing I needed to hear. I'm in. Let's do it. Sorry, go ahead.
The way I see it, they have changed the rules of engagement, and the Democratic Party does need to adapt, because that which does not adapt is left behind.
It provides.
I absolutely agree.
Like, when I was I think more what I'm trying to say is that, well, first of all, so when I was just saying for people running for Congress, which is not anyone here, but like for the people who are, don't scream like the people in my district are stupid. That was the only thing I was trying to say. That might not be the best thing to scream out loud while something's being recorded. That's all I was trying to say. But more importantly, like, I would totally be more inclined to run for politics. I'm just not going to accept money from, it takes a lot of money to run a campaign, and it makes me once you take $1, and this comes from my childhood trauma. I was raised by a malignant narcissist who has a very high IQ, and you take $1 from someone, and in my mind, I owe them something. And like, my opinions are not for sale. My beliefs are not for sale. And so, like, if we get money out of politics, I'd be more inclined to do it. But still, then I think my voice is better as a critique.
But here's the thing, Felice, you do owe them. And you want to know what you owe them? You owe them to be the best version of yourself and uphold the standards of your office that you're seeking. That's what you owe. And it doesn't mean that you have to side with them on everything. It doesn't mean that you have to compromise who you are. They're paying you money. They're contributing to your campaign because of who you are as a person and as a candidate. And you don't have to change that.
You're talking about grassroots donations. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about accepting money from corporations and lobbyists.
I'll accept
and
all the fucking money and then
if you think
stab
that you
them in
take
the back.
APAC, if you think you take APAC money, well, I'm just saying, like, look, people always say, like, oh, Hakeem Jeffries, he's a betrayer. Like, you be a black person in New York and hold a seat without taking money from APAC. It's impossible, right? And if you don't, the most expensive primary of all time was Jamal Bowman, who was a high school principal, and I loved him. And if you think, I think a lot. Listen, I have almost a photographic memory. I know what I'm saying. I don't want to be beholden to any lobbyist. Like, you're talking about nice people giving you money. That's fine.
No, I get where you're coming from.
I'm talking about what it takes to hold a congressional district, like since Citizens United.
Mm-hmm.
No, I get where you're coming from. I do. I totally understand what you're saying. I do. But I don't give a fuck. And I'm just like Matt. Like, you can give me your corporate money, but I'm just letting you know I'm still going to be me. And if you don't want to give me your corporate money while I'm still being me, then take your shit and shove it.
Mhm.
If I lose, I lose.
Well, that's one of the grimier aspects about being a representative is that you have to spend so much fucking time fundraising.
Yeah.
That is one of the absolute worst parts of that job.
That's why I wouldn't do it. That's why I
people
wouldn't
in Congress
fundraise.
get dragged out of committee
24
meetings to go
hours a
into
day,
little
365.
room and
Your
make
job
fucking
is
phone
always
calls
fundraising.
for,
Yeah,
you know,
no,
2
so
or
fuck that
3
shit.
hours.
That's your job, is to
trying to
beg
get
for
people to
money.
give them
I don't
money.
like begging for money either.
Yeah. No, fuck that shit. I'm not begging for shit.
Hakeem Jeffries described Brooklyn politics as gangster.
Yeah.
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 Because they redistrict, they carved his house out so that he wasn't in the assembly district where he had been.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and that's why I get like a little defensive when people like shit on Hakeem Jeffries. I'm like, you have no idea what it's taking to survive in his district. They're trying to engineer his district out of existence.
Yeah, New York is bad enough, but Brooklyn, that's rough.
I've got it rough. Marjorie Taylor Greene has half my district, half my county.
Fucking man, that is a name.
Somebody get me the shit. People are like, why don't you call your representative? Because she's hung up on me like 8 times. I've called Warnock's office, and I swear he's going to block me. I've been on the phone with Ossoff's office all morning. Thank God he's a nice person. And the people who work for them are really cool. But, you know. Yes, she has half my county. So I don't want to hear how bad Hakeem Jeffries has it. I have to see that woman
I'm
in
so
person.
sorry.
It's the opposite. Marjorie Taylor, it's the opposite point. Like, I'm making the opposite point of your point. Do you understand that? Like, I'm saying, like, Marjorie Taylor Greene is in a gerrymandered district.
Absolutely.
That she's in a district she can hold forever. That's been gerrymandered in the inch of its life. She's fine.
Yeah.
She can just grassroots raise. She's going to win over and over. Hakeem Jeffries is in the opposite situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it absolutely. They gerrymandered the hell out of Georgia the last time. Part of my county that she has, like, my county has gone blue every other time. The last time they rigged it to the point where she has more of the farmland agricultural area, which is where most of the red districts are, and the voters are. So she has that whole side of it. Plus the county next to her, which is exactly what Felice is saying, which is where that whole red area is. She could win that seat without anybody voting against her. I mean,
Jim, I can't protect wrestlers to save my life. Jordan, like, how do you think he's remained in Congress? Like, he could do nothing. He could raise no money. They're going to vote for him. Yeah. Watch that documentary, by the way. A new documentary just came out on
Surviving
HBO Max.
Ohio State.
Surviving Ohio State, and like the way the media tried to downplay what happened at Ohio State that Jim Jordan covered up. Listen to these men if you have access to HBO Max. As a Division I athlete, scholarship athlete, listen to this doctor drugged them, took them to a second location and raped them. And Jim Jordan covered it up. Watch that documentary to understand what Jim Jordan is guilty of.
It's on Max.
HBO Max, it just came out. It's called Surviving Ohio State.
Yep, just got to turn the VPN on. I have it.
Okay, don't give me side eye, but you reminded me of Tommy Tuberville. So we have this cut to Medicare, Medicaid, and all that. But he has actually sponsored a bill to reduce the amount of post-grad loans and things that are available to post-grad students. Altogether, they will get maybe, I think it was like $80,000 for post-grad and $30,000 for undergrad. That's going to hit medical students hard.
He running for governor of Alabama? Is that a sure thing at this point?
Yes, he is, but
Did
she stop?
I don't know if no one can hear me.
Okay.
I can
hear you.
You said she's running for governor. I heard her start.
Southern Fried, you're kind of cutting in and out. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't me.
Tommy Tuberville.
We're talking about Tommy Tuberville.
Look up the former, Tommy Tuberville was the coach of Auburn football. And as a Division I athlete, what you learn when you're on scholarship is that you've sold your body and that someone else owns you, and you're not going to be able to walk when you're 30. And Tommy Tuberville is a known bigot / racist who exploited black athletes in the backwoods of Alabama, and talks about it as if it's amazing. Made millions of dollars off the backs of other people who won't be able to walk when they're 30, and now sits in the Senate, is the ranking senator, the senior senator of Alabama, who votes against all the interests of the black population in Alabama. It's unconscionable who and what that man stands for.
Apparently, he's
not from the backwoods of Alabama. He's from Florida. He had to establish residency in the state of Alabama in order to be on the ballot.
Of course, that's the Republican senator way. It's just like, is Dick Cheney from Wyoming? Of course not. None of these people are from. Or how about Ron Johnson, the senator from Wisconsin who lives in Palm Beach? We should do a whole live about where Republican senators live and where they hold office.
Oh, it gets worse than that. So somebody did a deep dive on Tubbs, and the house that he uses for his address is in Auburn. He is not listed as the owner. His wife and son are listed as the owner, and they have a tax exemption on that property. But in order to be eligible to run for governor, you have to pay state taxes for a minimum of 7 years. But he has not been paying taxes on that property because it has an exemption. His wife and son also just purchased a second property in Madison that is also under a tax exemption. While he supposedly had residency in the state of Alabama and was serving as our senator, he was still voting in events down in Florida. So was his wife.
Socialism is for billionaires in this country. Just understand that. This is a socialist country for billionaires. That's what this is. Oh, the biggest welfare queen in this country is Elon Musk. $8 million a day. The richest man in the world needs to take $8 million a day of American taxpayer money, right? There's socialism, right? We can subsidize things, but only for the rich. They shouldn't pay taxes, right? Because it will trickle down. We just have 40 years of data that shows everything has trickled up, if you can read or do math, but that eliminates all of MAGA. So, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop down.
That's okay. I was
office back. Hey, Felice, she's running for governor. They think Brian Kemp is being termed out. So they think that MTG is going to run for governor.
That would be great for us because that's actually a slam dunk. That's why, John Ossoff was trying to goad Marjorie Taylor Greene into running against him because that would be a slam dunk. Yeah. I mean, no offense to MAGA, but yes, we do want the craziest of you up against us in elections.
I
hope she does. I hope whack job Marjorie Taylor Greene gets out of that Georgia 14. I hope she leaves that gerrymandered district and does find out if the general population of Georgia likes her or not. I think that would be amazing.
We have a flat earther too, so I hold absolutely zero. I swear to God, I swear
they're not sending their best.
They are. People keep saying
that is their best.
Y'all,
that is their best.
A flat earther and margarine Taylor.
That's their best. That's the best they've got.
And the one where in Appalachia High School where the pew-pewing was, where a week later, when the debate was, they held a watch party at a Pew Pew store.
Yeah.
Like, this is their best. Y'all are just like, you keep making excuses and like, this is who they are.
Yeah,
You're not going
this
to
is
change.
their best.
Like,
This is their best.
Mag is like, she's making perfect sense to me.
Okay. I appreciate everybody so fucking much. I have to go too. I just realized what time it was, and like my kids have been alone all day because this bill has just dominated my life for the past 48 hours. Chris, you're the shit, dude. Like I sorry
Matt
I
does
didn't pull you
creepily love
into
Chris. That's so true.
Sorry I didn't pull you into more shit's crazy,
he
bro.
couldn't get in. You keep blocking him.
Yeah, no. So like, what was funny? Let me show you the picture. Let me show you the picture that I sent Nikki. I was like, this dude got beef with me. Hold on. So
I don't know what's going on.
This is like, I think Matt
Does he
hates
hate
me.
you
He
again?
keeps blocking.
Wait.
He
Maybe that's
keeps
pretty big. Maybe
blocking
that's
Hold on. Let me see.
Oh wait. I gotta zoom out, but it says that you've been blocked by the creator.
What the fuck? Okay, yeah.
I have it. I can send it to you. He calls me. He's like, does he hate me? I'm like, what are
I
you
don't know
talking
why that. I have no idea, guys. If you see Chris, don't stop. I don't know what's happening. Because it's not
Your
me.
fat fingers, Matt. I do the same thing.
this one says-
I found it. Here it is.
All right, hold on. Let me.
The other day.
Yo.
That
was me this one.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
This is the second time I've been blocked too. That's what the crazy part is.
I have
like the
no
fourth
idea.
time.
Yeah, no, I know, because like Nikki messaged me and was like, "Hey, are you mad at Chris or something?" I was like, "No, why? I love Chris." She's like, "Well, you blocked him." I was like, "The fuck I did," and then I was like, "What the fuck?"
And this is the third time. I'm like, are we keeping it blocked for a reason? What
I don't know.
are you talking
Like,
about? I'm like,
Maybe at this point,
Don't call
maybe
it
at this
a-
point, I just keep doing it just because it's funny.
But you give me like a guilty conscience because I called Nikki this morning and then I literally said so like when I called her I was like, yeah, Matt was just on my panel debating if I said something, I would like to apologize for whatever I
Did
said
it since the panel on Sunday?
Yes, I was blocked.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know. You know what it is? I saw it in the comments. TikTok's trying to start some beef because there's not enough drama going on over with me. So they're like, we're gonna start some shit.
He calls me and I'm like, what's wrong? What's the matter?
Yeah, I was like, yo, how come I keep
what's
getting
wrong?
blocked?
You never call me. What's wrong?
No idea. I have no idea why that was. No idea.
We were just cool a few days ago. That was
No. I'm gonna send you my number, Chris, and you can just message me and be like, bro, and I'll be like, I got
yeah,
you.
because
I don't
I'm
know
probably
what's
gonna get
going on.
blocked again at some point because you guys are probably
listen.
targeting some conservative and then you accidentally block me.
something. I don't know. It's
I was back.
yeah.
You know that.
I don't know. We're gonna get this figured out. TikTok's trying to start some shit. Like, that's not cool, TikTok. That's not cool.
Like, before we leave, everyone just like, the point is, like Matt said, like the Venn diagram, like between what you're capable, like what you can do, what
you're willing to do and what you can do.
Yeah, and like where those two that intersect, like that's what you need to do. And the point is this, like, resistance doesn't mean you're going to win anything. Like, I mean, I knew today this bill was going to pass. Like, you dig your heels in and you resist any way you can, right? Like, and
go watch Andor season 2 and get motivated.
Exactly. Well, if you were raised by a narcissist, this is your time. You know the game, right? Like, you just resist. Like, you can't overcome their delusions, but you dig your heels in and you drive them insane. And That is what we should all be thinking about, is like every day, what is my act of resistance today? And like, Matt, when you were calling Claudia Tenney's office, that was amazing. Like, that's exactly what I do. I have like emails and I'm like, hey, it's 69 days, it's, 169 days until you are gone because you have no spine, right? You just got to keep reminding these people that they're going away forever.
Yeah.
Matt, I called my rep's office this morning on live, and I said, do you need my information? After I asserted my opinion, she said, no, we know who you are.
Damn. That's a good idea. I'm going to call mine on live too and talk shit to him.
I'm telling you, man, like, just make a whole fucking thing out of it. Like, just make a whole fucking thing out of it. I set up a Google Voice number and put it through my, through the computer so that, like, I can just do it right here. I just type it into the Google Voice number and boom, I'm just right on live here.
Ed needs a home visit. Ed needs to see you in person.
I'm telling you, I'm going to go see it. I don't know if y'all heard, but Ed in his his profile on the website listed his pronouns as masculine. So I'm gonna.
It was well, Claudia and Trump won by 30 points. Oh, is that like that's like saying, well, Hitler was elected, so the Holocaust, that's fine.
Yeah, so that's fine. Right?
Ed's very confused.
Yeah, Ed's gonna have a fun time when I roll up and be like, "Hey, my name's Matt. What's your pronouns?" He's gonna really enjoy that. He's going to really enjoy that.
Yes, record it. I can't.
Oh, yeah. No. I record every time I go in because the last thing I want is Claudia Tenney to be like, QK was being such harassment to my staff and whatnot. That's why I post that shit, on top of showing people that it doesn't have to be scary, but also so that when she's like, oh, you're so disrespectful. Okay, you psycho.
Y'all, there's votes that are going to go on for the entire term. Call them every freaking time. Like, I don't care that she doesn't like me. That's what my damn taxes are paying her salary. Mm-hmm. She and the people that work there are going to have to listen, whether it does any good or not. Like, just be a pain in the ass.
You can get apps on your phone to fax them too, right? Because they have to read every piece of paper. Just,
what
is it also
called?
Just fax them from an app and like let the fax machine just go out of control. That's another
free fax services online where you can just send a fax.
They still use fax machines.
That still works.
You legally have to read every piece of paper that's put out.
Be a fucking menace.
Is it called Five Calls? Is that what that app is called?
5 Calls is a good one.
Five Calls, okay.
That's a good one. But yeah, no, be a fucking menace. Like, give them no peace. Period. Just no peace. Like, sorry, you're going to have to deal with me for the next don't want to deal with me? Don't run for re-election.
Someone said I'm faxing the Constitution. Do that, and then fax them your grocery list. Be like, I was just thinking about something. Like, what do you think of?
Yeah,
what do you think
literally
about like the mission to Mars?
Yeah, fax everything. So, yeah. All right, I gotta go because my kids are like.
See you,
I don't know what they're doing. But
thanks for having me, man. I appreciate.
I appreciate you being here.
I'm gonna go live in a little bit.
Love you.
All right. Love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Find a reason to smile and laugh today, even if it's hard, because joy is resistance. And if there's nothing to smile or feel good about, then what the fuck's the point of all this anyway? So
it's Thursday. I always smile on Thursdays.
Yep. I got Thursday texts. Thursday texts I got to get out too. So love you guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow, hopefully, unless I'm taking a day off. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right. I'm going to eat us. Bye.
Yay!